Father, we thank you for another day. We thank you for the blessings that you've shown us, given to us so far. We ask that you keep us in sound mind so we can do the work of the people here in Washington County. We can do work that's pleasing in your eyesight. For these and other blessings, we ask for it all in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen. Amen. And the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Washington County Board of Supervisors, 9th session with the Honorable Board President Carl G. presiding.
Okay. On the agenda, I've got a couple of items we do need to add and a couple we need to put to the top. Mr. John Daniels, Mr. Demetrius Warren, and Mr. Kenneth Anderson will add as the issue for the property at 1229 Gibbons. Anyone else with any additions to the agenda? I did. Okay, road department. All right, so you have the request from Leland Public Schools and Greenville Public Schools. Okay.
I said that I would like to add the road department to talk about the parking lots that we've approved in past meetings for Leland School District and Greenville Public School District.
Okay.
I have several matters for the session.
All right, executive session for the attorney, potential legal litigation.
Yeah, I'll identify them.
All right, before we go in?
Yes.
All right, any other additions? If not, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
And a second. And a second. Second. If there are no questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That's unanimous. Supervisor Benson out today. And the minutes. Question? Oh my goodness. Questions or comments on the agenda? On the minutes?
So moved to approve.
Thank you, Lee. Second. And a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
I got a nay. Ms. Brooks, it's 3-1, motion carries. All right, first up, I don't see Mr. Birch. All right, Mark Hooker.
Good morning.
Morning.
A couple things to touch base with the board about. As you know, we got several sets of plans, different processes at state aid, just about through and ready to let. But one of the things that we needed to do on the Burdette Road LSBP 7631, we needed to get some right of way, and the piece of property belonged to Harry Branton Land Management Company, and I met with representatives of the land management company last week, and we talked about a price for the right of way. We had a base price set. Mr. Seard worked up an approximate estimate based on like tax records and stuff, which is basically a percentage of true value. But anyway, that number was about $2,500, and that, like I say, that's just a percentage of true value to start with. And we talked with them, but in talking with those folks, and I'll go ahead and bring this part of the discussion up too, since it is relevant. We also have to get some property from the Merle Planning Company, or TGM Land Company, and Merle Planning Company. Yes.
Mr. Hooker, with respect to these acquisitions,
Yes.
the statutes say any amount less than $5,000 you can get the tax assessor someone to do it.
Right.
If they exceed $5,000, you don't have to get an appraisal.
But that was kind of what I wanted to discuss. These exceed $5,000, but the reason I brought them up, wanting to bring the second one up, they have both recently sold property, and as you know, the property around Deer Creek and some of the others in it is the going price, and what they've actually had sales on was $8,000 an acre. And so that's what they ask for their property, you know, what they're getting paid, you know, in the fair market. And, the thing about hiring an appraiser, we can hire an appraiser, but we also, by state aid rules, have to hire a review appraiser to appraise that. So if we hire an appraiser, we're talking about minimum $5,000 maybe. And then a review appraiser is probably gonna be in that same amount for these, you know, 3 parcels of land. So my thing is, we're gonna, you know, if we hire an appraiser and a review appraiser, we're gonna be in the ballpark of $10,000. The land that we're actually asking for is such a small amount. The Branton property is .029 acres. At $8,000 an acre, is $232.
Well, what I'm saying is, if the amount you intend to pay is less than 5,000.
Right.
You do not have to have those appraisals.
Okay,
Okay?
yeah.
If the amount you end up paying exceeds $5,000.
Yeah.
Then you would have to do those appraisals.
Okay,
But
yeah.
you just getting a tenth of an acre, 2/10 of an acre.
Not,
You
yeah.
won't need those appraisals.
that's right.
Okay?
But that's why I wanted to bring it to the
Yes.
board
Right.
for y'all's approval and your review, you know, to be sure that we do everything legal, because, once I give these back, or once we get these deeds signed and I give them back to Mr. Ronzavall, he's got to write a letter saying that the right-of-way was acquired according to the state aid rules and regulations, which take into account all those things that you're talking about. And so, the Branton property, like I say, is .029 acres at 8,000 acre was $232. The TGM Land Company was .34 acres at 8,000 acres, $2720.
They
And
want the money, they don't want to go for it.
that's right. I asked them about donating, and of course, you know, they said, you know, we just finished paying our taxes, Mark. You know, you're getting kind of personal here. And so the Merle Planting Company was .039 acres, it's 312. So, and of course, it would, you know, it had to be in 2 separate checks. But we're talking about $3,032 for the Merle property and $232 for the Branton property. So we're talking, you know, less than 3,500 combined. And but I need the board's approval. I recommend that the board that our administrator be allowed to write the checks to Harry Branton Land Company in the amount of $232. TGM Land Company in the amount of $2,720, and Merle Planting Company $312 to acquire the right-of-way.
I have a
for
question.
this.
Why is it that the county don't write the checks?
It is a county check.
That's what she's saying.
I thought you said to allow your secretary.
Give her authority to write the
Oh,
check.
the county administrator.
Authority to write the check.
All right.
That's
When
correct.
you said secretary, kind of.
No, I said the county administrator. What I meant to say anyhow, I'm sorry. If I didn't say it right.
Right, need a motion
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any
Okay.
opposed?
Good
Motion
deal.
carries, that's unanimous.
All right, just for the board's information, as soon as we get this right away to state aid, they'll give us authority to let the LSBP 7631. We got one wetlands report that's outstanding, and it's supposed to be given to state aid shortly. The Corps had to review it. And for some reason, you know, some of these things, to get the Corps and the Department of Archives and History are asking for cultural assessments, like Indian artifacts and all, which takes about another couple of months. But anyhow, these projects are ready to go. LSBP 7631, as soon as we get the approval from state aid, we will advertise it. And on
When you say the numbers, could you just say the name, because I don't remember the number.
Burdette,
Okay,
Burdette
thank
Road. And 7601, SABP 7601 is Club 17 Road, and we have to move a water line on it. And I've already met with the water line people, and they're in the process of getting their equipment lined up to bore. They're gonna bore it, you know, from one end to the other, and we had to get them the right way to move, relocate to. But anyhow, we have, that's good, and those will proceed. Ms. Carter, I gave you a copy of both of them. Whenever you get a chance to write a check, if you'll holler, I will get that transfer done. Also, I wrote a letter to Harry Lee James last week and gave him kind of an assessment of where we are on all of our LSBP and SABP, but LSBP was the main one he's concerned about. it's coming up time for rescission monies again, where they can take monies that's not been spent. And, you know, we're still, in the process of getting these things out, and I've asked him for an extension, to, not take this money until we get these few projects let. And that'll keep us off of, keep us from losing any money. Of course, he knows that, if we lose it, we're gonna be right back after it. As soon as we get these let, we're gonna have some more. And, in some other counties, we've let probably $2 million worth of jobs that we didn't have the money for the county. We used that rescission money. So, but anyhow, I have asked him for that extension, and,
You
I
said
sent a
in
copy.
other counties.
Huh?
You said in other counties?
Other counties, yeah.
What counties were those?
Shark in this Quina. Okay. I used, about $2 million worth of, money that they took back from other counties that weren't spending their monies. And, let some jobs that we didn't have, otherwise would not have had funding for. And, so anyhow, we'll wait to hear his answer on that. And also, just gonna bring this up about, you know, or if you wanna bring it up, we'll bring it up about the legislative, request money.
Yeah, don't bring it.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, we made those requests, and,
Can we get a list of that, because we all didn't get a copy of their request? I didn't
We're
receive
gonna
it.
finalize the list. You'll have it.
yeah,
You'll have
once
it.
we get,
Yeah,
I
you'll have
question.
today.
When was this list created?
We had a conversation about project where we needed things like the project over at the Jim Henson Museum, the sewer, the line across the ditch,
Yeah.
DHS building, Luther Alexander building projects. But we'll have to have a conversation today to put the list together.
Okay, so can we have a copy of what you have
when I
already?
get, yeah, the final one we'll do, yeah, be glad to. Also, we got a letter from, the legislative caucus about, federal lands money, and there was some federal lands money available. It has to be used in or around, the park, National Wildlife Refuge, and, I've looked at some of those, and, if we think there's some that we might could get funding for, I'll bring that back to the board, and, we'll go from there.
What, do we have many federal lands here in Washington County?
Got a lot of federal lands.
Can you give me a synopsis of some of them?
Yazoo Wildlife Refuge is, the biggest one. What is it?
What about, off of Old Leland Road going to Tambura Road? Is that
That's state land.
state?
That's
Okay.
state, belongs to Stoneville. That's Stoneville Woods. And I'm sure there's federal money out there, but that belongs to Mississippi State. And like I say, you got Yazoo Wildlife Refuge. What is it? Over
That's
off,
on set, yeah.
Mulberry?
Yeah. thank you.
Mulberry Wildlife Refuge,
Yeah.
and you got a few more down around Tribbett, places like that.
If you can give me more information about the ones in the tribute,
Okay.
thank you.
Any other question, Mark?
I do. Where we at on the weir on Lake Washington?
We're still working on that design on the weir. You know, that thing is such a controversial deal. We're spending a little extra time to be sure when we get into it, we'll have everything we want on it.
Okay.
And also, I'm waiting on some prices for the speed lights,
Okay.
radar control speed lights.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Mark.
I do
Thank
have
y'all.
a question. Has anyone said anything to you about the area where the gentleman used to fish at one time and they don't have a place to fish? What's the name of the road?
Lake Lee.
Has anyone said anything to you about Lake Lee Road?
I talked with Mr. Griffin several months ago about it. That property, there was a part there for numbers of years, and the county did not pay the lease on it for whatever reason years ago.
That's what happened.
I think it was an oversight.
Okay.
It's just, you know, it'd been going on and on and on and on. And anyhow, I've talked to,
All right, come
tried
on.
to research and find who the landowner still is. And of course, it's under, sir. Yeah, it's still owned by that family. And there is a lease on it, ongoing lease on it. So it's not where we can do anything with it yet.
Well, the board actually passed an order a while back to do eminent domain on that property, because we've had so much conversation. Yes, we did. You weren't paying attention. we passed an order
That's
due
so
eminent
nice to hear.
domain, and, the concern is we ready to move forward. I hadn't heard anything back from the attorney, but I'm getting so many calls from the gentlemen that live here in Washington County, they wanna fish. I would like to see us move forward on it and start talking about what can be done so they can have a landing place so they can start back fishing.
Well, and I might respond to, Ms. Bush.
Mhm.
It's twofold. One, the lease that was on there was for $1.
Right.
And unfortunately, back in the 80s,
Somewhere.
90s, there was a failure to pay that $1. And that lease, expired. It was a 25-year lease for $1. Back in the 80s or 90s, there was a failure to pay that $1. And quite frankly, for many, many years, the renters was not aware of it, and the county continued to pay that $1. All right, which basically means that they were leased it year to year for $1 without a lease. Then when I was board attorney previously, we tried to work with Mr. Reynolds to purchase that property. He said he wanted $4 million. Well, that was not realistic, so, you know,
Neither was he.
yeah, and he's dead now.
Right.
And his sister, as I understand it, may be the sole owner. So, last year, latter part of last year, we did vote to do eminent domain on that property, and I spoke with Mr. Hook about it. And what we're gonna need to do is determine, the amount we're gonna need. Some say, what, 4 acres or whatever Mr. McGee was talking about?
A minimum of 2, but we like to have 5.
Okay. That ramp that's there was put there by, Mississippi Wildlife Fishing and Park, which is
Right.
Forsyth County.
Right.
Yeah.
And extended it at least once that I'm aware of after it was put in by the same folks, yeah.
So, you know, but initially in eminent domain, once we determine what you need, you have to try to negotiate with the folks to see if they're amenable, to selling, all right? So that's the first step. You cannot just file a lawsuit against.
So where are we right now, Attorney
Well,
Griffin? Because this was a year
well-
ago to be passed.
Well, with respect to Mr. Hooker and I spoke about this, I think, in the latter part of October. All right, so it hasn't been a year.
I'm talking about when the board approved, it's been almost a year.
Well, the prior engineer did not go down there.
Hmm.
And I'm not sure they had access, they may have been able to do Google stuff, but I didn't get anything back from them in terms of, whether or not they had put together a survey, to determine what our needs are.
So,
Then I asked Mr. Hooker to do it.
so Ms. Hooker, he asked you to go do a survey?
Right, and we have a survey that we did before it was leased to these other people and gated off. You know, you can't get access to it without now, the lady, I have not been able to get a hold of her to get new access, but I've got a survey of the entire, property where, we had possessed or had under possession in the lease, a roadway easement from the levee board right away all the way down to, to low water. And what we had for the boat ramp and the parking at the top, we excluded, the old picnic tables. There used to be a big park down there that the county helped maintain. We excluded all that because it'd been flooded so many times the county wasn't keeping it up anymore. And we excluded the old house that was down there, bait shop or something like that. And so we actually, what we have is what the county really, I think, wants, and it is, like I say, in the order of 4 or 5 acres. And I just hadn't updated because we hadn't been able to get permission from her to enter the property.
And unfortunately, you can't drive through there anymore because they put a gate there.
Right.
Blocking it off.
I have a question, I mean, have we thought about getting a drone and droning and looking at the property
You-
that way?
You can, I can get a picture of it anytime. Of course, that's illegal too, without their permission. But we have enough old surveys of the property that I feel like are confident in what we could use today unless, we can get permission from the lady to get on there to do the survey.
Okay, I guess what would be the next step? Because I'm really detailed, because, I'm, everywhere I go, I run across these gentlemen, and I really want to give them some feedback that we are moving forward.
Yeah.
What would we need to do next, since you think you got enough, I guess, assessments to move forward?
I can get Mr. Griffin a copy of the last survey that we did down there.
Yes, sir.
And then, I guess we can try to, we'll review it, have a discussion to see if it's satisfactory. And, if we have to do some more, then we'll have to get in contact with that lady to get permission to go on her land. Like I say, I'll
Question,
get
she
that.
refused, what's next?
Then
Yes,
Mr. Griffin will have to go to court to get us authority to do that.
Lee,
Just to
I'm coming.
to kind of bring you up to speed, number one, I voted no against this because I don't like the idea of taking anybody's land. Number two, there was a reason we lost the land. Number one, the county was not taking care of it. It looked like a big mess over there. Cars were getting broke into.
Do you know what year this was during that time?
Well, it was when we were not you, but we were in office. And we were just kind of letting it go. So if this does work out, then we're dropping the ball again if we don't keep that place up, because that was a big part of it. We was not keeping it up, because if you went back years ago, it was a beautiful park. It really was. And then, and I don't know how many years has gone by, but quite a few years that we just hadn't taken care of it. And you had fishermen over there getting stuff broke into, getting stuff
Shooters.
stole. It was just a hot mess. And so, again, if this does happen, it's, need to make sure that we can keep up our end of the bargain and keeping it nice, keeping it clean, keeping it safe. Because when this did happen, and the attorney wasn't here at that time either, this last time when we lost it, we did get a hold of, is it Miss Reynolds?
Yes.
Yes.
She was in Vietnam. I think she lived in Vietnam, but she came here and we talked to her, and we talked about possibly buying it and then possibly doing some other things, but it was just things she was needing or wanting at that time, like the attorney said, we just couldn't do. But I just want to make sure if this does happen, we need to make sure that we keep it nice where people can use it, and because there was a reason that it happened like it did, and we were part of that reason, the county's meaning,
So when the county did own the property, who was up to maintain, was
It was supposed to be
We never owned it.
when we
Well, when
leased
we
it, yeah,
leased
it was the road department, but, just whoever cut, yes, I mean, building grounds, whoever cuts like Warfield, just like, so, and we just dropped the ball somewhere along the way, and it looked terrible out there, overgrown and just bad.
Well, if we're able to get out, we will set up a program with not the road, but the building grounds department to make sure, we don't overlook that, because, that's something we've taken away from the citizens here in Washington County. And we got some avid fishermen here, and they look forward, a lot of them are seasoned gentlemen, and they look forward to that. And I just want to make sure we have something available for them to do in our county that once was here. We need to bring it back and move forward, because when I say they stop me everywhere I go, and I really don't have anything to follow up with them, and I just want to let them know that, you will be going back trying to get the assessment, so we can come together and look at the acreage we really gonna need.
I'll get that survey to, Mr. Griffin and Mr. McGee right away.
All right,
Thank you kindly.
Griff, any comment?
Sir?
Any comment?
No.
All right, thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
All right, let me go
Right,
back. We
right.
have to get with Mr. John Daniels and Demetrius Warren.
Mr. President,
Hey.
I would like to also add state inmates to the agenda.
Okay. Mr. Daniels? All right, I got a motion to add state inmates to the agenda as well, in your second.
Second.
And all in favor, express sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Morning, Ms. Daniels.
Good morning, Mr. President. Thank you for adding me to the agenda. I just wanted the board to know that I'm representing Ms. Hansel insofar as it concerns the invoices that have been produced by IMF for payment.
IFS.
Excuse me, so nonetheless, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you all have a question, something that you need addressed, I would appreciate if you would contact me, not Ms. Hansel, and then I'll confer with Ms. Hansel for an answer.
Okay. Well, I do have one, and I don't know if you can respond now. We can just send it back to us in writing. I mean, some members of the board, I'm sorry. Some members of the board are more privileged to talk to Ms. Hansel because I haven't seen her in a year. And we were in the meeting, and it was brought to our attention by Mr. President and also the board attorney just saying that she's able to do what she's able to do. Just identifying, I mean, what's the rationale? Because I don't know what the rationale is for her not wanting to pay the invoices.
Well, I think the rationale is state statutes, and particularly the budgetary statutes that are clearly defined by Title 19.
Well, I don't have them. If you can share them with me.
Oh, sure, yes, ma'am.
And I think in the other board members as well.
Yeah,
And if you could just get it to us in writing on her reason for not paying the invoices. The other piece is that,
well, let me answer that first
Okay.
question. I think it's incumbent on the engineer to provide some information that has been requested. In fact, Mr. Griffin asked that back in September
September
8th
10th.
or 10th. I
10th.
cannot remember. I have a
10th.
copy of the letter. I don't think that has been forthcoming. The invoices that have been presented, from what I've seen, have no backup. And remember, we're past, and I hope this is correct, we're past September 30, October 1, which is the fiscal year. Yeah. But I think at this point in time, the engineering firm needs to provide what has been requested.
yeah, I'm more so as an elected official.
Yes.
I haven't spoken to Ms. Hansel.
Okay.
Hadn't seen her in a year. So the concern, if I can get something in writing on her rationale, so I can be on the same page as certain privileged members at this table.
Well, in answer to the question of rationale, it is incumbent on her to review the invoices with the backup to make sure that it all falls in line and that it can be paid or can be considered. And that would be the answer that I would give you today.
Okay, I'd just like to get something in writing on that. The other concern, this is a new precedent for the county, I think. This is since I've been on the board, I haven't heard a time when the chancellor clerk didn't pay the invoice. So is this the new norm that she would go through the process to go through all invoices and make sure it's back up, not only in with the engineers, but in other departments?
You know,
Because the attorney did reiterate that she is the county auditor. So I just feel
Right.
that if you're gonna do it for one department, by all means, you should do it for all departments.
well, thank you, ma'am. Excellent question. I can't speak to any other invoices other than these, but I can tell you that in reviewing these invoices, they have to be in the correct order, with backup, and otherwise, she can't consider nor can she authorize payment.
I'm not going back on, I'm on the new piece. Now, my question is not, if we can get that in response to her, since, she's made a decision like that, will she be doing this for all departments? Because, I know she's doing a breakdown on invoices, which I don't have a problem with that, but I just think if you're gonna do it with the engineering department, it should be done for all departments, since the attorney did reiterate she is the county auditor.
And let me answer that question. I'm confident that Ms. Hansel will follow the law.
Well, I understand. I
Yes.
just want to get that in writing on the issues. Thank you.
Yeah, may I offer this?
Yes, sir.
On September 10th, Ms. Brooks, contrary to what you represented to the board some time ago, we did request all the information from in anticipation. One, because Mr. Hooker had some concerns about whether or not we had already paid some items, okay? And that would be needed, tests and et cetera.
When you say we, who do you mean
The
is
county,
we?
the county.
Well,
Whether or not the county had paid for geotechnical tests and et cetera. So that would be stuff that you don't want to have to duplicate. So those were requested. In addition, project information were requested. Do you have that letter?
I do have the
If
letter.
not, I'll have copies brought over soon, and so we can put it in the minutes. We'll never put it in the minutes because I didn't anticipate we'd get to this point. All right,
Well,
so,
I mean, I understand what you're saying,
Yes.
but I think the letter should have been shared with all board members. We in 2025, you said letters
I'm
went out in
sure you
September.
knew about the letter, Ms.
This is my
Brooks.
first time hearing about it. You didn't share it with me and nobody else did.
Well, the letter was written by the county attorney, and,
Hold it. The letter was written when this board authorized me to write this letter back on September 10th, okay?
I had to go back and check those minutes for
We-
that, because I have no recollection of that, Mr.
Well-
Attorney.
well,
Let me, go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead. Let me
Mr.
get this under
President.
control. Yeah,
unless you need me further, may I be excused?
yeah, you're good, appreciate you.
Thank you.
But we will
Thank
get
you
a
for your
letter
help.
from you on behalf of Ms. Hansel on her decision.
On her decision on these.
Yes, sir.
In due time, yes, ma'am, I will do my best to do that.
Thank you kindly. You have a great day, sir.
Good to see you all.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Mr. Warren, sorry about that.
Good morning. I'm
Morning.
real brief. Just giving you all an update on, I met with Attorney Griffin last week about the bylaws. We had the email that I sent, we had to go back and remake them. He's shortening them down, making sure that we're protected, you all are protected. So we're gonna meet again this week, to go over them. And then once he give us a stamp of approval, then we'll bring them to you all for approval. So that should be done within the next 2 to 3 weeks maybe. But I'm gonna meet with him again before the week out to get that done. Also,
I got a
too-
question
Yeah.
before on the bylaws. One of my concerns, I did go through the bylaws and I read them. I brought it to this board's attention. Not sure if you knew, but one of my concerns in the bylaws to make sure is implicated that a board member cannot do any business with the county. I know there was a concern on some other things prior to, but I want to make sure that is in the bylaws so, you know, whoever may be on the board 20 years from now is understood.
We did discuss that. That's a part of the code of ethics that will be in there. And then we're going to follow, me and Mr. Griffin talked about, we're going to just put in there that we're going to follow the Mississippi statutes on the code of ethics. So if there's any questions about doing business and whatnot, we're gonna follow that.
I just want to make, I know it was a concern for a moment, and I'm just thinking about the future of future members, you know, to make sure that
Yes.
is understood.
Yes, ma'am. And also too, at y'all November meeting, when the last time I came, we did look at it. I think you all tabled the fact. It's 2 questions. Number one, with the people we're hiring, who employee would they be? That was tabled. And number 2, we kind of headed towards a time crunch now. Can we go ahead and start advertising for those positions? And then, because we got to get somebody in place in order to start planning out the season, to start registration, to start all that. So we're kind of in a standstill right now. And we are developing the bylaws, but we are at a standstill right now. So we need to look at who's employees with the people who hire, who employee, would they be county employees ours, and also look at advertising for the position.
I think on those, and there's no harm in go ahead and advertise for the positions because of the time we get the bylaws situated and we get the, who they actually work for, whether it be us or under the direction of the Sportsplex Board. The attorney can have that information for us in a week or 2. But I agree, and I said from the beginning, gonna have to have somebody out there working full-time, managing it. So I don't see any harm of approving today the position to advertise. That's not that they're hiring anybody, because that still has to be approved.
Correct.
But I think you need to get that ball rolling and who that may be. And then as we adopt the bylaws and stuff, then we can, at least you have your advertising. I would hate to wait until we get the bylaws and then we start advertising, then we drag this out, because I talked to Chris Val the other day. He said he's already having, calls on the baseball and things like that. So
Right.
I don't see any problem with giving the approval today to go ahead and start advertising for those positions. And when it comes to the point we do the bylaws, you can inform us, this person will be working for the county or under the direction of the Sportsplex Board, and you can have that information for us.
I agree with you. What positions are we talking about?
We have a director, assistant director, and administrative assistant and concession.
Well, I move that we move forward to advertise for those positions.
I second.
I got a motion and a second. I got a question. Have either one I haven't seen the job descriptions.
I emailed them to you all way back when,
All right,
and Mr. Griffin got them.
I haven't seen the job. You got the job description?
Well, they were sent to everyone.
They were sent to everybody.
I don't remember it.
I
Maybe
read
you
it.
saw
I sent job descriptions back, I think like
They were
last
sent to
year in
everyone.
October.
And
or
now I got a
September.
question, and I'm not comfortable with, I have to look at the salary level and the level of responsibility, and is this a seasonal job, is it a year-round job, what is it?
Well, I think the
They're all
management
year
position-
round,
One
aren't
at a
they?
time, please.
The management position was either 50 or 55, I can't remember. We approved up to that, did we not? Okay, well, we've already approved that, for
I
the
thought it
cap
was
on that.
70,000.
No,
We
no,
talked about that.
What it was up to, the approval was up to 55, our
Yeah.
board came back.
Yeah.
It was 55 and up. Our board came back and looked at it, and we decided to make it 60.
Yeah.
So then there was some discussions with some board members to see, do y'all want to be 55 or 60? That'll be y'all decision.
And the reason being
They're
on
gonna be
that too,
young
well,
to
two
see.
reasons. I'd like to say, after you, there's a difference between advertising and interviewing and actually
Correct.
hiring somebody. And there's two reasons. One, we don't want somebody that starts off making more than some of our other department heads. Two, and I'll discuss it with the board a little bit later on where we are financially, that we have to really watch it moving forward this year, but that'd be the only two reasons. But we did approve at that point. I know y'all might have brought it back, but I don't think we ever approved 60. It was 55 is what this board approved then. As far as advertisement.
I do have a question, Attorney Griffin. So once the board appointed this Sportsplex
Commission for.
committee, commissioners, we have commissioners, park commissioners. Don't they make the final decision, not us? Why are we constantly making a lot of decisions? I know we have to get the bylaws approved, but after that, that board makes the decisions. Because normally when you appoint people to a board, I mean, they make the final decision. Yes, we give the dollars, the revenue for whatever they're gonna do, but it's not so much that we micromanage that it constantly comes back to us. And so I'm just wondering, is that a new norm now?
That is not a new norm, Ms. Brooks. This board has final decisions on recommendations that they make. They will interview in conjunction with the county administrator and make recommendations to the board of supervisors, all right, on what actions to take. That's just consistent with everything you do in all departments. They become similar to a department of the county.
But they're not, we were real clear about that, because I did want them as a department, but the majority of the board said we need to create a commission. So they're not a
Yeah.
department, and so the biggest concern, I look at all the other entities where we appoint people, like the hospital, like the Washington County Convention Bureau people. When we appoint, we don't make any more decisions. That's it. We just make the appointments and then they move on. So for us to appoint them and then we micromanage them, that is, what's the purpose of having a commission if we're
Well,
gonna do that?
Can I just say,
Go ahead,
the
Willie.
difference,
We gotta wrap
the
this up.
difference
Go ahead,
right
I'm sorry.
now is, it's not like the city's park commission where they have their own millage, where they have their own funds. The hospital and other places, we don't give them money to operate on. Everything they're operating on now is is money, the direct, and
just-
whatever.
It comes
whatever
from the budget of the
Sportsplex-
county.
We have a budget that we set aside for the Sportsplex that we put in there. And you have the other, like I say, the hospital, I know you're going back with the hospital. Yeah, we did give them some money when they were in a crunch. Yeah, when they were in a crunch, but that
mean the
was
hospital?
to help the hospitals survive. And so, but I'm talking about on a day-to-day basis, we don't fund the hospital and we do fund the Sportsplex at this time. We would hope at some point that it could,
Was self-sufficient.
Yeah, but that's the difference right
Well,
now.
I'm gonna say this right here then, if that's the case, and we're going back and forth with them, and kind of like they're coming back to us, they should receive some type of stipend if we're gonna do it the way we're doing it, because these people are taking all their time And, you know, they really, we could be doing this ourselves, but we did appoint people to do this. So if we got people that's going out the way to do these interviews and we're not doing, they should receive some type of a stipend, clearly.
But you have the planning, you got people on the planning commission. You'd have to go back, and do all of those. We have a lot of people that are appointed to those positions, and if
Well, see, going back again, those are those are committees, but at the end of the day, they're overpaying people. I mean, they're working a group of people that's running a whole park commission, unlike our other little committees where they just meet once a month. They're not over hiring people, firing people, anything like that. That's why I said we got to be fair. If we got these people doing this work and instead of coming back to us, they need to get some type of stipend. I said that initially, and it's just unfair to them. None of them have come to me and made a request. I just see what's going on, because I just think that if we give them the dollars, they should make the final decision, not constantly come back to us on approval.
Mr. Warren, I think you remember last year when I tell you, there's gonna be some rough roads in this. And we're getting this, it's happening slowly, and I said, we're gonna run into some bumps in the road, so we're figuring this out as we go, and we're gonna get there. We done a pretty good job last year,
no doubt.
and we'll do a better job this year. So it's coming together, so I think I'll just be patient as it kinda unfolds, but it's gonna.
Well, we have a motion and a second on the floor to go ahead and advertise.
Got a motion to go ahead and advertise. If there are other questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Good luck, Mr. Warren, if you need anything.
On the on the advertisement, we need to make a decision on the salary for because we said 60.
Yeah, I'm comfortable at 55, that would be the
I'm
cap.
comfortable with 60 after recommendation of the board.
Well, let me, hold on 1 second before we go any further with that, because I share
I
this.
mean, again, what's the purpose of this commission if they make a recommendation?
Yeah, I understand it. If you look on your cash, I'm sorry, where am I at here? On your ledger, on your cash ledger, I just want to make y'all aware of this. On page 5,
Go ahead.
in your general fund, you're negative $893,000 right now. That's gonna carry, when we move forward, we're constantly going up on the budget. We can't sustain that as we move forward. That is going to come back and bite us next year. It'll even be more than that. So, and I know $5,000 don't seem like a lot when you're looking at the overall picture, but that's a negative almost $1 million right now that we have, and we have to look at that moving forward. So I'm not comfortable adding anything at this point or adding any money, And again, we'll see how it unfolds, So I'm comfortable at 55. I'm not
I
comfortable.
do have a
more.
question, Ms. Carter. What did we budget for the park, for the sports complex?
As a total, 132.
If you'll look at your cash too, at this point in time of year, we are low on that.
Always low.
I know, if we budget, I'm talking about what
We
we
did,
budgeted.
I'm telling you, we voted on 55.
No, I'm talking about what we budgeted for that whole line item. That's what I'm talking about.
279, I think it was. And if you look, I think we're over on that too, to be honest with you. On the sportsplex, I think we're over several.
200,000.
Too easy.
And then we're over budget on that too, aren't we?
No,
Not,
not yet.
the debt, okay, gotcha. Okay, that's what we put in there.
So I got a question. Have you started doing a breakdown of your budget so far?
I met with Ms. Carter last year sometime, and we looked at what we would pay out and what the total salaries. What we've done is we did before the last budget, we did most of our most expensive buying. So basically, right now, all we need to do is buy some equipment and concession. So that'll cost us. We'll probably be in the range of $10,000–$15,000 with that.
I'm sorry.
The other questions, let's go back over the other positions. What's the second position?
Assistant director.
And what is that salary?
I think it was 35.
Okay, and what is the next?
Secretary was, administrative assistant was 17, and concession work was 10.
And bear in mind too, in order to have that place looking like we want, at some point, I'm telling you, the building and grounds is not gonna be able to keep up with the inside the fence.
They're
So
not.
there's gonna have to be some money that, now, they do offset some of this cost. Y'all
They
did
do.
make some money last year,
Yeah.
you know, so, but you gotta keep that in mind moving forward. All those fields inside the fence, it's gonna take a little more prep, and it's gonna take
It
a little more
is.
time, and it's gonna take, if we want them like we
Correct.
really want them. So that's something we gotta look at, you know. So when you start looking at $200,000 and you're talking
Yeah.
about those salaries, plus that don't go a long way.
Well, and also, we bought enough machinery and equipment, and with those two positions, to alleviate the building ground for having to do so much over there,
Good.
they can handle
Some of
all,
that.
yeah, they can handle all that. 'Cause
Don't
I-
say
I-
all, sir.
Well,
Don't say all.
Yeah,
Don't
'cause it
say
stretched
all.
into the-
Don't say
well-
all. Don't put everything on yourself now.
All right, Mr. Warren's gotta get out of here. I got a motion on the floor, right, to approve advertising. Everybody's good with that?
Yes.
No other questions? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You all get together, take care of the advertising.
We will do.
Thank you, Mr. Warren.
Thank you.
I'll ask the question.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Ms.
Mr.
McGee, can we go back to, the matter we were discussing earlier about the letter to IMS?
Not right now.
Okay.
I gotta move on right now. Let me get some folk out here. When we get back to you, we'll go to that. Hey, now, we're gonna get to you, we're gonna get you, Mr. Nar.
Figure what part?
We're gonna get you. I'm gonna take care of Mr. Nar.
Figure what part?
Okay,
No.
right now, let me
I
get
got
back to
letter
the
now.
agenda, number 6. Ms. Rachel Nightingale, she had a concern about a couple of roads, Bayou Road, Coons Road, met with her, talked with her, and hopefully the commissioner will give me a call today and we'll set up that meeting. We have maybe 10 roads, if
Okay.
not more, that we're going to.
Can I add on to that? It's Horn Road.
We got a list of them, but I'll share the list with you.
Okay, I just wanna make sure we don't leave out BF&W
All that's on them, Ms. Brooks.
and Black Bayou.
All that was done
All
by
that's
the
on there, Ms.
contractors?
They jacked it up
Okay.
and then fixed it.
Okay.
All that's on them.
They
Okay.
jacked it up and then fixed it.
So,
And
but,
they said they were gonna repair it.
all right. And, so we're gonna go ahead and bypass that. Now, I have Mr. Fred Washington in place of Ms. Clara Crossman.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Good morning, Mr. President, other board members, attorney. Thank you all for the opportunity to allow me to provide an informational presentation about Delta Advantage Center today. Okay. Delta Advantage Center was established back in January of 2020, just before COVID all started, and started by a group of former residents of actually Sunflower County. We all grew up, went away, we were successful in our various careers, and we came back home to do something about the food insecurity that was approaching 25% at that time. Based after 5 years of us giving away free food, that food insecurity in Sunflower County is now down to about 18%. So we've currently, up to date, we've given away about 5 million pounds of food, and we're just trying to share the wealth. We submitted numerous grants across the spectrum, and we were recently approved for a large grant, a large planning grant coming out of USDA called the Healthy Food Finance Initiative. There were 45 awardees nationwide from USDA and only one in Mississippi, and that was Delta Advantage Center. So, and in that, when we submitted our grant proposal, we had 7 counties included: Washington, Sunflower, Bolivar, Coahoma, Tallahassee, LaFleur, and Humphreys. So we were just approved back in November, so now we have a road tour going around to explain this planning grant, which started in December and is gonna go on until July 31st. So that's what I'd like to share with you today. What our public-private partnerships, we built a few already. We have one with the state of Mississippi, one with Sunflower County, Mississippi Food Networks, Grenada Food, Fresh Fruit and Vegetables, Last Supper, Dollar General, and several other agencies. We have the Educational Institution, Mississippi Valley, MDCC, Mississippi State, Alcorn, several others. So we're working with all of those folks to engage in our initiatives. But I'd like to share a little bit about this food access planning. You have a group of the slides. I think each of you have the packet.
That's your day. Everybody has it.
it's like that on the front. Yeah.
No, he got something totally different. Thank you so much.
What page you on?
Okay, we're up to page 1. It's late. It's showing us page 1. The Healthy Food Initiative. Under the Healthy Food Initiative, there are 3 primary elements. One is the mobile food market, and that's one where we'll go out into the communities and provide food. This food is not free. This is for sale items. People will be able to pay with their SNAP cards, credit card, or cash. And what we need from you all on this is a point of contact. I need a person so we don't have to come to the board each time, but somebody in the county, regardless, whoever you choose, so that we can coordinate on these food locations.
Okay.
When you say coordinate on food, I'm sorry, Lee.
Yes,
No,
sir.
no, I didn't have my hand up.
Yes, sir. If we go in, we go into the communities. Tell us where to set up. We don't know everything about it. You tell us where you want to go.
Locations you
Where are
would
the
like to
senior
cover.
citizens? Yeah, where are the senior citizens who cannot get
What's
out?
the biggest need, maybe?
The biggest need.
Yeah.
And we'll.
We don't have to give them a name today.
No, you don't. You don't. This is just for future reference. We're still in the planning phases. We don't plan. We don't intend. We don't think this is going to go through until August at the earliest.
Mr.
That's when we'll
Washington,
start execution. Yes, sir.
have you talked to any of the food pantries here in Washington County?
Only not the pantries per se, but Miss Chapman. We've coordinated with her, but we've not spoken to any.
Ms. Chapman out of Bolivar County?
Yes, sir.
Pam
but-
Chapman.
But she's over here quite often as well.
Okay, but we have several food pantries where I'm going.
No.
We even got a thank you letter from one today that we've supported. I know we got Hardy Helping Hands or whatever it is, and we've got, of course, Sacred Spaces that does it, and a couple other entities with like the one that this board just helped.
That's
That's-
like one, pretty much, I think, in every community, like Leland has one.
Right.
I think Holiday has food pantry.
But my only concern is, have you touched base with some of the food pantries we have? If you have this abundance of food, there may be an opportunity for you to partner with some of the pantries that are already established.
And another one is, Boots on the
Boots on the ground.
Ground.
Boots to be young.
Have you had a chance to talk to them?
No, we haven't. No.
I'll give you contact numbers.
All right.
Right. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mr. Washington, but that was a question I had to ask.
Okay. The second initiative is to enhance the food with the local retail elements. And I'll give you an example why this is important. We recently went into a store and we found a bag of meal on the shelf that had duct tape on it.
You found it in Washington County?
No, sir, that wasn't Washington County. And it was expired as well. So there has to be, we need to start taking a look across the board just to make sure. But that's what's being sold by some of the mom and pop stores to our residents. So we just need to,
Are y'all gonna give them food?
No.
Local stores, or they just buy food?
no, this will be for sale. In
Okay,
this,
another question, do you target like getting green vegetables to
Right.
the little small stores? 'Cause that's what I run into, like the little small mom and pops, they don't have the green food,
Yeah.
just for healthy eating locally. I'm thinking about little small mom and
Right.
pop stores like this.
so that's part of the third initiative down at the bottom, farmers and producers hubs. So yes, we will have an aggregate or a cluster where, and we have a facility in Moorhead. It's the old Allen Canning Company. It's where we operate from. And in that particular, we have an initiative that's paying for freezers. Yes, so it's a huge operation that's under a different grant.
So like the local store needs, they would reach out to you to try to get a freezer?
We'll be reaching out to them to sell them food, that local store.
But you would help them with a freezer to keep the food?
No,
Oh, y'all
no.
can get a grant for y'all to get.
Yeah, that's for
not
us.
the small store.
Right.
You know, it would be ideal to see if you could do an application to help some of the smaller stores to get freezers. And I think one of the reasons why they don't have it is because they just cannot afford it. They don't know what to do. And I just think a agency like you could really help a lot of small, mom and pop stores to get freezers where they can buy fresh fruit.
We're not there yet.
Okay, I'm just throwing it out there.
We're definitely not there yet.
Okay. And Mr. Washington,
Yes, sir.
exactly what is you need from us?
Today, I don't need anything. This is an informational, but I would like to come back in April and give you an update as to what we've done.
Okay.
And we do want to get into your budgeting cycle for an appropriation, but that's further down the road.
Yeah, you're pushing it.
Yes, sir.
Let me do this
Yes,
for
sir,
you.
but I'm
We're
telling
gonna,
it like
we're
it
gonna
is.
provide you with numbers with food pantries and people who actually service this community,
Yes, sir.
and touch base with them and see if you all can work a partnership.
Right,
and,
and we'd be willing to do that.
Okay.
But again, once again, this one, it goes beyond, this one's a little bit further. And when we do come back for the program, it'll be a small amount, no more than $1 person, $1 per citizen.
We hear you.
All right.
Come on, anything else you want to share with us?
Let's see. Just there's a list of contacts in the back.
I saw that.
And so those are the people heading up those activities, but they're all experienced in those areas.
All right, we're gonna get the listing of the current food pantries we have here, including the newest one, East Park Community Outreach. We'll get all those to you.
All right.
And maybe you can touch base with them and have some dialogue to figure out what they're doing. Because none of them come to us. I think they come to us and ask for a contribution, but we don't currently have anybody that's on our allocations list.
All right.
Not currently. Any other questions from Mr.?
Yeah, one more comment. What I said to you, would you consider as a pilot program with a small mom and pop store in Washington County? Because they were really catching my attention. Because I'm just being real, most of those small moms and pops, they just don't know how to write grants. They don't have the allocation to even buy those type of machines to help fresh food. I think about, the little small community. I think about Metcalf, they got one store. If you can really have a location like that, where they can get a refrigerator or whatever they need to keep fresh vegetables there, that will make a big impact in our community.
I'll take it to our board of directors.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Yes, sir.
Ms. Stacker? Sorry to held you up so long, Ms. Stacker. Well, you got
Good
time.
morning. Yeah, I got time. Good morning.
Good morning.
Just have a few things. Want to give my usual report for December 2024. Want to go just touch some bases on the audit that you guys have, and then I'll just give you an end report of the year of 2024. For the month of November, we had a positive earning of $2.1 million. We had a cash on hand of 91.9 days cash on hand. We are having about 31 days in accounts receivable, so we're paying our bills. So everything is back and going in the right direction, so I'm very proud of that. If you look at the audit, ending September 30th, 2024, we had a positive earning of $13.7 million. As you remember, back in 2022, we had a negative $29.5 million. So in 2 years, my team, the Board of Trustees, and my senior leadership team have really turned this around. We're very proud of what we've done and feel like we can only do more. Because right now, we feel like we're not in a recovery stage, we are now in a growth stage. So we're looking forward to that. I've done an end of the year report just to let you know some of the things that we've highlighted for this past year. One of the things that was a big initiative of us is that, as you know, our employees had not had a raise in 6 years. So we were able to do a 3% raise for everyone, all of the senior leadership team, except for me, our leaderships, and our hourly employees. But we looked back and we looked at our minimum wage at the hospital and found out that we were at $9 an hour. That is not sustainable in this kind of economy right now. So our Board of Trustees and our senior leadership team made the decision to bring it up to $12 per hour. So they got that first one in this year of 2025. We have a very tight budget this coming up year, as you see. And so we're making a request, as you know, because of the positive earnings that we have, due to when we purchased, King's Daughters Hospital back in 2005, we have to pay, because of the taxes that the county lost. We owe the county $300,000. We are asking that this be forgiven for this year, so we can continue our growth, continue to pay our employees a wage that they can grow on. And I couldn't, I almost died in my chair when,
Lee.
Mr. Lee Gordon made the statement of, I know you all also have difficulties, but as you know, this hospital has really done a good job of bringing it around. We were almost to the point that we were very unsure about our future. But I tell you, our future is very bright, and we are looking forward to giving many years of excellent health care to our community.
Does everybody understand where the 300,000 come from? Lee, I'm gonna come around. Yeah, I'm gonna get to you.
You own the hospital,
Yeah.
Uh,
however,
I can't just brag on y'all enough. I'm just pleased what y'all done. Just, you're talking about, you know, at one point on your payables, you was what, 120 days out? Now you're back 31 days. That's impressive. I mean, you've done really, really well, and we all know how important that hospital is to this county. I mean, it's huge. Saying that, you know, we're not in the position we were several years ago. Maybe it's flip-flopped a little bit here, but I couldn't, at this point, knowing what I know now, and you know, I'm a very big supporter of what you need and all that, but I couldn't do the $300,000 right now. I just don't think we're in a financial situation to do it.
over, y'all
moving
donate
forward.
it back.
And,
Can we go half, 150,000?
I'm I'm not, you know, again, I just don't think we can, you know, they've had a good year, and I'm glad you've had a good year. I'm just not in a position to say yes on it.
Ms. Brooks?
But that's the reason. I just want to give you
Yes.
my reason why.
And, you know, and I'm one of
Okay.
those people, I'm
we
gonna
good.
ask, you
That's
know,
fine. Ain't
if
nothing
you
wrong with
tell me
asking.
no, I'm
Yeah.
okay.
Ms. Brooks?
What I would like to see us
We
do
should
that,
postpone
like you
consideration,
said,
take it down the advisory.
Supervisor Gordon, y'all came a long way.
A long
And
way.
at the end of the day, if you don't have a hospital, your community will go down. And to see that, you know, you're looking to get your employees to $12 an hour, this kind of like understood. Anything true the amount, anytime you're making less than $15 an hour, you're not poor, you're in poverty.
Yep.
So my concern is, I support waiving $300,000 at this point. I don't know if I have the votes, but I will make the motion after you.
All right.
Well,
Mr. Rip? Any comments?
I got a bad heart, so y'all just.
That means he go for it. But, that right, Jerry? Now, you say you've already given these raises, brought them to $12?
Yes.
You've already brought them to $12. And that 300,000 should come here.
But if you think about,
You
when
go-
you
you-
sit there
let
and
me
you
finish.
rate, oh, I'm so sorry.
You know, we just gave a raise to the county associates employees. And, you know, we're struggling to get through and get by and make things happen. You know, I'm not going to vote to do it. You've already given the raise. Now, help me with this. If we were to waive the 300,000, where would it go?
It would go to our operating expenses, and one of those things is going to our employees. But if you think about it, when you have employees making more money, they're spending more money in this county.
That's right.
So it's economic development, and people, I think, sometimes don't understand how much the hospital does contribute to the economic development of this area. And so when you're going to get your money back, because they're going to be spending it, being able to buy that $4.50 but bottle of ketchup. They'll be able to buy 2 now or 3 now instead of just having to buy 1. It's gonna come back. It's gonna come back to the community. And I'm telling you, one of the things that really make my heart feel good was Saturday I was out shopping, and one of the physicians called me and said, I am so pleased at what you've done for the employees, because it'll help us get better staff, more seasoned staff, people that are, having more education that will come and work in our clinics to better our patients. So this is going to be a win-win for everybody.
Cool.
And yes, it's going to really make my budget tight. And so that's why I was trying to keep as much money, because we're gonna be on a very tight budget this upcoming year because of the fact we're trying to give back to our community and give back to our employees.
Lee?
When y'all were in need, we were in a position to help y'all. I want to make sure if you're ever in need again, we're in a position to help y'all. And it's not physically responsible if I do this knowing where we sit right now, just like several years ago, that the things y'all had to cut back on because you just couldn't afford it. You were working yourself out of a hole. If we continue, because we can always look at, well, this is not much, this is not much, this is not much, but we get to the end of the year and it all adds up. So I just want to be in a position, if you ever need us again, I want to be there and be able to help you again, because y'all worked y'all's butts off to get there, but so did we to be in the position to help you. And I want to make, and it's just not responsible of me to do it at this time, knowing where we kind of sit right now. So I want you to understand that, because, you know, I'm one of your big supporters, and I think you've done an awesome job, but that's my reasoning.
And
And
we
I
still
wanna
suffer
be-
from that. I'm sorry, go
Oh,
ahead.
and I want to be in the position that I can grow my hospital so I don't have to come
That's
back.
right.
So,
Well,
If all that works out, we're in good
Yeah.
shape.
And we support you in that. We want you to grow our hospital.
Yeah.
But, you know, we've given $5 million. Didn't have to pay any of it back. I'm finna ask for a motion right now in a second. See where we go. Ms. Brooks?
Well, I know concern is 300. I like to make a motion to go $150,000. That's my motion.
Sure. Motion's on the floor. 150. All in favor, show by sign of aye. All opposed, nay. Motion dies.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
You still
You
got
have
to
any-
try, don't you?
Yes, you still have to try.
Mr. Griffin?
Can I see you before you leave?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Keeping the lead.
No, I'm gonna step outside.
Okay. Leave your mic on so we can hear y'all talk.
Oh, no. Too-
Okay, number
Too
9.
dangerous. I'm gonna
Consider
disconnect the cord.
proposed to purchase property with boat ramp in Glen Allen. Mr. Griffin, what is that? Ms. Griffin?
This is the,
Yeah, I don't know your piece. All right, let me see. I think we've got Mr. Kenneth Anderson. Yes. That's you, Ms. Anderson? Yes, sir. Come on up, please. Sorry about that. Come on with it.
No problem. Good morning.
good morning.
We
I'll
added
make
to
it
the agenda, just state your business and come on with it.
Okay. It's real simple. I was born and raised here. I left here in 1980. Now I'm back in retirement. So I'm here in lieu of my mom taxes.
Hmm?
And in her taxes, she had the exemptions on in her tax bill. So her tax bill was like minimum. She got the bill this month, and it's like $1,900. And we had to try to figure out what happened.
Have you talked to our tax collector or tax assessor?
I have. I talked to him, and long story short, 3 years ago, someone robbed my mom's mail and had all of her mail go to them. She didn't have computers, so all her bank statements and all that went to these people down in Jackson. They went and took all the money out of all of her accounts, ran up all of her credit card bills, so she had like $80,000 worth of charges, and at the same time still getting her mail. So what ended up happening was, did a police report, and the banks here are awesome because they knew her, and so they helped her get some of the funding back, and we talked to a lawyer, we went to the police, and so what I ended up doing was changing her mail to come to my house, so to make sure no one steals it again. And so the mail started coming to my house. So the tax bill was going to come to my house, but on the taxes it said do not forward. And so she never got the tax bill. And so when the tax bill came, it got sent back saying, no, it needs to be forwarded to my address. And based on what the assessor said, they don't forward that information. So for the year of 2024, her tax exemption was 0 because her mailing address is my address. But she still lives in the house that I grew up in since 1960. And she's still at home. She's 95 years old. So I'm here to protest the fact that she has to pay the full tax bill and not get the exemption that she normally get because she still lives in the house, but her mail comes to my house. So there was a conflict as to where does she actually live? Does she live with you? Nope. She's been living here since I was 5 years old and she's still there. So this wonderful young lady right here told me to come and talk and do an appeal as to get her tax exempt status back for 2024.
I have a
Mr.
question.
Mrs. Lowell, go ahead.
Cause there's, and we're gonna see a lot more of this, you know, cause people are living longer. And I guess, is that a state law that the mail can't be forwarded to another address?
Oh, Ms. Sear, come up. That's what I was about to do. Come on, Ms. Sear. No, you can't.
I believe it is, Ms. Brooks. And I don't have anything further to add. This gentleman told the story as it is, so that's all I have to add.
So who has the authority to reinstate the exemption, Mr. Griffin?
Board of Supervisors.
Understand its circumstances.
However, I would add, the fact that you have the mail sent to your house, it will not be forwarded to any other address but a post office box. I mean, I would suggest that you get a post office box for your book, opposed to having it sent to your physical address.
So we can approve this? Or
Reinstate.
we can
I
reinstate?
Right.
we reinstate her, what's the address?
There it is.
1229 Gibbons Street.
That address, and what's her name?
Whoa, Gibbons, what street is it?
Gibbons Street?
1229.
Yes.
And what's her,
1229
and
Gibbons.
what's her name?
Florence Anderson.
I like to the address and name back into, what is,
You want to reinstate her exemption, her
her
tax
exemption.
exemption?
Homestead exempt.
Homestead exemption
Yes.
for 2024.
Is that the only year?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, I got a motion. Any questions? I got a second. All in favor, should I sign of aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. That's unanimous. Okay, but, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson.
I'm good?
You good? You good? Let me do this. Dum, dum, dum. Now,
The
I
bridge.
got Ms. Lee and I got Mr. MacArthur Norris here. Mark, come on up and do it, and we're gonna get them, and then we'll get them.
Good morning to the board.
Morning.
Have a few changes to ask the board for this morning. Correction of homestead exemption application on a Miss Beverly Bennett. Miss Bennett came into the office in January of last year for her over 65 exemption, but the code was not changed in the system. We ask that this error be corrected for Miss Bennett for 2024's taxes.
So
So
moved.
moved.
We got a motion?
Second.
And a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. David Cohen. Mr. Cohen had his homestead removed in error because he sold property, but the property that he sold was not associated with his homestead property, which was removed. We ask that the board allow us to correct this for 2024 as well.
So moved.
Got a motion?
Second.
And a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Greenpoint Villas, Mr. Steve Cantu, he called in to get an estimate of what his complete taxes would be after making completion of his apartments that he's building at Reed and Beauchamp. However, when we entered into the system to find out the completion amount of taxes, the clerk failed to remove the information that she input to get that figure for him. So his total amount of taxes should be approximately at 35% of completion and about $12,000. We asked for a reduction for Greenpoint Villas for 2024.
Why? What's the?
Because there was an error made in the office where the clerk, she put in a completed amount
Oh,
of
she put in
taxes,
complete,
right,
but
and
they not
failed to
complete.
remove it. Right, that's right,
Okay.
that's right.
We can see they not complete.
That's
Something
right.
next to it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, everybody understand? Got a motion and a second? No other questions? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Meta Bank National Association. This business was double assessed. It changed names and is now being assessed under PIN number 11415. And we're asking that the old parcel be deleted.
You said Little Bank,
Meta Bank Association.
are they a bank?
Investment.
It's probably a leasing company. Yes, ma'am.
So moved.
I got a motion. I need a second. Got a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? The motion carries.
Helena Chemical Company, we're asking that the penalty that they were assessed be removed because it was mailed on 4/1/24, and we have to go by that mail-in date that it was mailed on. So they were assessed 10% additional penalty, and we just ask that the penalty be removed.
What does,
How do we do that? How
what-
do we do additional?
Tell us how that happened, Mark.
Well, we've been having some issues with the post office again. And so, the postage date on the mail that they sent in was 4/1/24. And so we have to look at that in.
4/1/24, and so was it, the property was sold at a tax sale?
No, it was not sold. They were just assessed 10% penalty for, the rendition being received late in
Okay.
the office.
So, isn't it their responsibility to ensure that the taxes are paid in a timely fashion, however?
No, there's no taxes being paid.
Okay.
It's just a penalty that they were assessed. So they received their tax bill and they noticed that they were assessed additional penalty.
A penalty for what?
For
Why was
late-
it, was the, for late payment?
No, for a late rendition received in our office. You know, the rendition that we send you
Yes.
each year, they received that as well. And we received it late in our office.
And so you,
We assessed them 10% additional penalty for receiving it late.
Okay.
So somewhere
And it was
between.
postmarked the right
Okay.
date.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
So somewhere between them mailing it so late and the post office getting it to us extremely late, we assess them 10% additional penalty.
But you have to go by what the post office.
We have to go
post
by
was.
the
Postmark.
posted mark
Okay,
date on the envelope.
okay.
Yes, sir.
But the postmark date is timely.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
But
And
we
you just,
received
you
it-
just received it late.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
okay,
Postmark.
So moved.
yeah.
I got a motion to approve. I need a second. Thank you. Thank you. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
So actually, Helena Chemical has several of these. It's a total of 4.
All of them,
Yes, sir.
timely postmark,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Patient Point LLC is a business that was located in Leland. The business closed in 2023 and should have been removed for 2024 taxes.
Because the business was closed,
Yes, sir.
Y'all wasn't notified?
We weren't notified.
Where was the business closed? Let's see.
I don't know the exact date, but it was closed in 2023.
When did they report to y'all that they was closed?
I don't think they did.
Y'all just figured it
I
out?
can check back in my office and
Oh,
find
okay.
out if they reported. But,
Is that for 2024 taxes?
yes, sir.
Okay.
what's pleasure? Got a motion? Need a second?
Second.
All right, everybody understand what you're doing? All right, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And lastly, Phillips 66 Company. Phillips closed out all inventory in the Greenville location for tax year 2024. We received notice of this from them, and we are asking that the board allow us to make that change.
So moved.
I got a motion for the adjustment. I need a second. Got a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Yes,
Ms. Lee?
sir.
Ms.
That's
Lee?
it.
Morning.
Good morning.
Got a couple of things for you guys. First, I'd like to turn in all of the collection that we collected for ad valorem taxes for Washington County. I'm reporting $2,823,806.91 of ad valorem collection for December.
All right, need a motion.
So moved to accept.
And a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Bernadine. Okay. I got a phone call last week or so from APAC of Mississippi. They sent in their taxes for 2023. Once they were received, the clerk made an error. They sent in 2 pieces. She thought there was supposed to be penalties added to one, but it was not. She added penalties to it. The second one came up short with the payments, because it sent in 1 check. Also, that parcel went to the tax sale. So one, I'm asking the board to void the tax sale so that APAC can pay those taxes and we reimburse the tax sale buyer. And 2, I'm asking that the general fund refund the overbid money to APAC as well.
Everybody understand?
For
Motion?
for what year this is? Ms.
2023.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Did you get a motion in a second?
Yeah, I got a motion. Yeah. Didn't you make the motion?
Ms. Brooks made it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
I didn't, yeah.
Okay. I got a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. That's unanimous.
That's all I have to report.
All right, hold on a second. Mr. Griffin, Mr. Norris, come on up. We have this issue we left here with at the last board meeting about Mr. Norris.
Yes.
And I think everybody's had a chance to review, think this thing through. Of course, Mr. Norris is holding a tax receipt as if taxes were paid for a particular tax year. But there was some kind of a mix-up in the office.
And my response today is the same as it was
What was your response?
last meet.
So you had to do some
And that
research or look at
was,
something.
this board has to decide whether or not the clerk's office, the tax collector's office is correct or Mr. Norris is correct.
All right? Board,
Okay.
you understand that's gonna be on us.
Yeah, but at the last meeting, we were supposed to do a further investigation. Did you do that, Attorney Griffin?
I've met with Miss Lee in her office and we've talked about this. I don't have any, and Mr. Norris, there's nothing really to investigate because,
Well, when y'all brought up about the different papers, they were signed out by your office. Did y'all go back and look at that?
no one has shared any additional papers with me.
Because that's what
document.
you said.
Okay.
we
Well,
were
actually,
supposed to do.
by the error of the clerk, none of those receipts, his or the other taxpayers that paid during that time, he didn't let them sign it. So that is an error on his part. So none of his receipts have been signed. None of the other taxpayers at that time wasn't signed either. I do have those receipts here for you all to look at if you like.
All right, that's the error by the clerk.
But they was not signed?
No,
Okay.
But that's an error by the clerk in your
that's
office.
an error by the clerk in the office. Yeah.
All right.
And normally that's
Because
what you
it's
do.
it is the norm. They supposed to make sure that these customers, these
Okay.
taxpayers, I don't like to call them customers, they're
That's right.
taxpayers.
Okay.
And they sign
Now.
when.
They are supposed to
pay.
sign once they pay, yes.
But none of his. was
None of
signed.
his was signed,
None of the others that were paid by this particular clerk.
right.
He was just the only citizen paying tax.
And it should,
So how do we identify a situation?
Well,
may I share this with you guys? So
Yeah.
you all
Oh,
can probably
you just
determine?
got the ones that are not signed as well.
No, yeah, I got all, like this,
Yeah, they're not
that
signed.
day
How much money we talking about?
12.
for,
He had,
look, these are Mr. Norris receipts that we pulled for that day.
Okay.
$7,150.60. None of these receipts that he has is in this stack.
Say
These
that-
are the
oh, whoa,
ones that
Say
was,
that again, what you just said.
the receipt that he say he has is not in here. It's not a part of that day. So he didn't pay it, it was pulled out.
So
Yeah.
my question is, Lee, so when you got that stack together, does Allen have a certain mark on it or
What you
something?
mean?
I mean, how?
Series
They have
numbers.
names,
Serial
they have their
No,
name
no,
on
no,
it.
I'm not even saying that.
Okay.
I'm saying how, but how can we say that y'all just didn't make a copy of it and just submit it to us?
These are the original receipts.
I'm just
This is a
asking,
copy of the
no, that's
original
what I'm saying,
receipts.
'cause I wanna know what I'm looking at.
Okay, so you're looking at copies of the original receipt.
Uh,
Now, if you wanna look at the
Okay,
original
Nick.
receipts, they're in the office. I don't take those
Okay,
out.
what they added up and what they paid.
Right.
Me-
Okay, yeah, I
le-
see a copy of that.
Let me ask a
Oh, wait a
question,
minute,
Ms. Lee.
man. Hold up. I thought you wouldn't.
No,
let me
but
get the
in
supervisor.
view of the fact that she brought those receipts up, I think, how much did he pay Miss Lee?
He paid $7,150.06.
how much, do the records in your office reflect that he paid?
That he paid
Yeah.
$7,150 and 6 cents.
How much does it reflect that you deposited from that? Can you tell that?
Got deposit of
Okay,
all of
$7,000 from him.
Yes.
All right, how much, does he indicate that he paid?
He don't know.
All right, let me do this. Lee, you had a
I
question?
can't answer that for him.
How many tax statements do you say that you've got, the receipts, that you say you paid, but they say you did not? How many, was that 3? How many was that?
Mr. Norris, you gotta answer that.
3.
You, how many?
What are they? You have the receipts that,
But she could verify the one.
now, I'm not talking about the ones
I
she
got the
verified you paid.
receipt.
No,
I
the
got the
ones,
receipts.
okay, the ones you say that they did not credit you, do you have those?
I got the
Where are
receipt.
they at?
Right here.
Let me see those. And I got it,
See, this right here, no date.
so,
See, it's not all his stuff, it's everything she deduct his money from. You know what I'm saying?
Ms. Lear, do you know how many of the ones he said that he paid that, how many has he said he paid beyond yours?
I know one he said he paid and he didn't pay. It was 3 that he didn't pay.
That's what I'm getting at,
It was
yeah.
3 that he didn't pay, but he came back and paid them in January. 2 of them in January. It's the other 6.
Okay, so now, so there's just one outstanding.
He's talking about one, I guess.
You'd have to,
Oh, she did.
she the one make, I don't supposed to have damn receipt. No receipt that I didn't pay. Cause I got receipts of.
What receipt are you disputing?
The ones that, she would have to tell me.
Mr. Norris, you say you had, you get some
I
short.
got all my receipts. right.
Well, no, I just need to know ones we're talking about.
Yeah, what are we talking about, 2 or 3
She the one that verified which receipts is you prefer to, I didn't.
No, you said that you, I'm telling you, you didn't pay that.
Pad that around.
Which one that you prefer?
Go back to Mr. Lee. It's up to this board, what y'all wanna do.
I left that
As
receipt
long
in the
as-
office, I don't know.
If the board
You
make
got
it,
to
You
show us,
had it, he had
you
it.
got
I
to
don't
show
know
us
if
the
it was in there.
receipt that's in question, Ms. Norris.
okay?
I got the receipt.
Well, which one is
You gotta show
it?
it to us.
Well, it was 3 of them.
Now, is it three receipts or one, Ms. Norris?
She said it was 3.
All right, tell us how many you say it is.
I said it ain't now, but I supposed to pay.
I hear what he's saying, well, he is saying that, you know, he don't owe anything because he paid, he got his receipts, and the question is, what are the receipts that's in question, Ms. Lee?
That's what that we asked him for. He got a.
Okay,
I
Right.
don't know.
okay,
Well, whichever one she said I didn't pay, I have the receipts too.
All right, we need it.
We don't know which one that is, though.
Well, there she
Last-
is.
You the
right
one
here.
made, you the one made the,
You gotta have it, Ms. Norris.
you the one made the,
Well, which one is it?
we don't know.
I mean, I don't know which
At
one
the
it is.
last meeting, they showed us which one it was, then we make a, then we have you.
I need to
Y'all
know
got
which,
a bunch of receipts, okay?
I understand, but you're disputing a certain one, right?
I'm disputing the one she preferred.
Okay, and which one is that?
You have to ask her, she the
No, I'm
one.
just saying, but then you make a.
But you
copy
had,
of the
you
last
brought it to
meeting.
her attention, the one that you remember.
I don't remember which one.
Yeah,
All right, what did
I
you
don't
make a
have it
copy
here,
of
so I
the
won't-
last meeting? We had you go make a copy.
Well, she can go get it.
No.
So you're saying there's one then?
I'm saying, I paid all my taxes, sir. Every
Miss-
last one.
Lee,
And the
Miss,
one she said,
Miss Ladies, Miss
We-
Bernadine, don't get what we talking about,
we-
so
we-
we all been the same.
Well, here's what it comes down to. Either you got to, because I'm like the attorney, there ain't a whole lot of investigating you can do on this. You've either got to believe 2 things. Either that Miss Lee's office
Made an error.
made an error and gave him a receipt that he did not pay, or what was your
Now, that
name?
don't
What was your
make
name?
no
And
sense.
Mr. I'll let me finish. What's your name,
my
Mr.
name MacArthur Norris.
Mr. Norris?
Okay.
Or either Mr. Norris is just not telling the truth on that. That one of the ones you got to believe. And at this point, that I don't know what you can invest.
Come to that conclusion.
Well, Lee,
Okay, there's a possibility
Well,
that,
listen,
hold,
listen, let me-
are you asked me a
Mr.
question,
Norris,
let me
Mr.
finish,
Norris.
let me finish.
Let him finish, Ms.
Let
Norris.
me finish. When you done that, so you don't think there's a possibility, when, just like they said, when you go in there to pay and you're paying cash some, check some, they gave you a receipt in error and you said, no, I don't have the money to pay that, they did not get the receipt back. That, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just all we have right now is their word against your word. And I'm saying we've got to believe one or the other to come to a conclusion one way or the other. So in the other, Mr. Norris, you say you have those receipts. I'm not saying that you're telling us something that's not correct on purpose. I'm just saying you have so many. I'm asking you for one receipt and you can't even give me that. I'm just saying it.
Give it to us.
All right, well then give us the receipt.
That was what, I do have a.
You gotta give us.
Let me say this.
Mr. President,
I'm on your side. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. I'm not
All right.
trying to say
All right.
anything
Well,
other than
we gonna do
we need to
this.
get to the bottom of it.
All right, Lee.
Supervisor Gordon, can I speak?
Ms. Brooks,
go
all
ahead.
right, be brief.
My biggest concern, you know, when we left, we were requested to get the receipts where everybody signed off on it. Your office, whatever reason, they didn't do it.
Right.
And so now it's left us in limbo if they made an error
Or-
and then do the receipts. I mean, do you think it's possible that he actually did pay?
No, because it wasn't there. The
Okay.
money wasn't there.
all right.
If the money had
All
been there, then you would have paid.
All right. let me
Well,
get- let me- let
and
me-
just play. I'm sorry.
Let me get the
Go ahead.
attorney, and then we'll come to
yes.
Lee.
In order for this board to be able to grant, if it's the wish of the board to grant some relief to Mr. Norris, the burden is on Mr. Norris to first identify which property that he paid that has not been given credit for. And if he has a receipt for that particular parcel of property, the burden is on him to produce that receipt.
We need
So
this.
that this board, because this board has to make a finding in its minutes to justify this, all right? And without an actual receipt that's being provided by Mr. Norris, there's no way the tax collector's office can say, yeah or nay, you did or did not pay this. So we first have to identify those receipts, Mr. Norris. That's on you. You cannot just bring a stack of receipts in here, all right, as you have there, and say, I paid all my taxes, here the receipts are. You got to identify those specific receipts, okay? You may not be able to do it today, but you can bring it back and you.
No, sir, we're gonna do this today.
Lee.
Now listen at this.
But here's what,
Ms.
let
Norris,
me
Ms.
say
Norris.
this. What I would suggest on this, what I would suggest, get to the bottom. The next meeting, hold on, let me finish. You need to don't bring all those in there. Bring the ones that you say you paid and that she can verify that no, he has not paid, that you can show her, go in her office, say, these are the ones I say I owe. And she said, well, we ain't got any money for this. Bring those back to us, because there's no way we,
I got 'em right here.
you don't know which, but you don't know which one it is. Okay.
I get a receipt.
Hold up. Ms. Burdine. What's that?
What I'm doing with a receipt, to be frank.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
These,
All right, now, Lee, this is what they did that evening. They wrote void on them.
No,
Now-
we did them that day that he was
That
in
day.
there.
Now, what is this
Listen
number?
at this, listen at this.
All them guys
If
signed
she
on.
wrote void on them, you understand? This ain't complicated.
All right,
I ain't supposed to have no receipts, and if she wrote voided on it, she's supposed to call me and brought it to my attention. You understand that? That ain't complicated. If I'm taking advantage of her office or something like that, she's supposed to call me and tell me,
Violated
may like she wrote void on it. What I'm doing with a receipt,
13.
it ain't paid for. What did I get it for?
Sir,
all right, Ms. Nora.
Mr., she just shared something with us, okay, with your office. Your office you came in and you paid, well, you talked to them. They put it in on 12/12, and then they took it out on 12/12. But then he came back on January the 10th and paid this right here.
Just one of them. Yep, that's correct.
Now, I got, Ms. Brooks, you got 3
And-
receipts for
Well,
one.
let me
And may I
let
say
me out
this?
to everybody. That right there says.
May I
somebody.
say this?
Y'all all
When,
good, but-
when that
The
happened.
one that says void, showing that he
1212
didn't pay.
was void, and then he came back on 110 and paid that
And they got the
584.59.
red void on it, see?
Yes, right. It's void on 1212, right?
Void on 12/12.
It's void on 1212. Now, you came back and paid that 584. So that creates a question right there as to whether or not you paid the remainder,
Yep.
okay? all right?
Okay.
Because clearly, let me finish, Mr. Nara.
Mr. Nara,
They,
Ms.
Mr. Nara, it's clear that they actually voided on 12/12.
That's 584.
That 584. Now,
They
there's
Yes,
no
we
mention
did.
of, there's no, now, Ms. Lee,
Yes.
in fairness, it does not indicate that that there was a void on the 1339/51, nor the next one, the 791/40.
It does say that on the bottom of that receipt. If you would look on that last line, to the right, to the left-hand side.
Amount paid in full on that one.
Okay, account paid in
Hey,
full.
excuse me. That's her crap there.
Wait a minute,
You ain't looked at mine.
pull yours out though.
Yeah, I need to know which one of them.
No,
I'm gonna tell
no.
him which one it is, Mr. Griffin.
I'm not gonna tell him which one it is. I don't think, Ms. Brooks, I don't think we need to share with, the burden is on him, Ms. Brooks.
Fair is fair,
No,
man.
fair is fair, we can't do
Time
that.
out,
We not
time
gonna
out.
do that.
All right, y'all
Fair
out of
is fair.
control.
You gonna sit here.
Ms. Nara,
Yeah.
don't do that.
Well,
Ms. Brooks,
Ms. Norris,
Ms.
we're
Brooks,
trying to help you.
we
We're
trying to help you, Ms. Norris, just hold what
we
you
wanna
got.
do what's right, but we've gotta make sure what's right.
I understand, but what would I
Mr.
be
Nara.
doing with a receipt?
Don't do it. Hold what you got.
All right, can I ask a question?
Yeah, please.
All right, so this 584, you went in that day and paid all your taxes, Ms. Norris. But you come back at a later date and paid this 584, is that correct?
Hold on, sir. Let me explain my situation.
I know it.
Okay,
You can do that
I
now.
paid taxes, when I
Yeah.
break up the money
Hold.
to come to pay them, that's when I came and paid.
So you didn't
saw
come
that.
back and pay this 584?
Well, see, if I didn't pay it then, I didn't even bring it. and pay
So
it
you
again.
come back to pay it?
If I came, if
You don't know if you came back to pay again?
Sir, I paid taxes, I got a bunch of taxes.
I understand, but have you been up here, you've come up here to pay all of them once, did you come back and pay this 584?
The taxes I come and pay, I have.
Now,
You understand what I'm saying?
You're not helping us to try to help you. You
He's
just,
saying to you that, all right,
Thank
on
you.
that, did you ever come back and pay $584, or you paid all at one time?
Sir,
Let me see those
let me
receipts.
show you something.
I'm looking for this number right here.
Let me show you something. Now, I fought the clerk's office, the tax collector. Look, watch this here.
I'm looking for this number
On
right here.
12/12, he came in at 10:51 and paid those taxes, right?
758.59.
Then he came back at 4.
758.59.
Look at 4:34 and got his money back. Now, why would you allow somebody to come back in? I ain't giving you no money back.
Yeah, that's the number right
If
there.
you owe it, you owe it.
Paid the monies. They realized when he balanced the end of the day, he realized those was not paid.
Okay.
You got too many sheets of paper.
Okay, so you, that, oh, so it's voided at the end of the day. Okay. That's what that shows. Okay. Okay,
656.
okay, that's what that is. All right.
That is that one right there.
But it doesn't show, you got one of these for all of them?
Hold tight, hold tight. Look for 59 and 50.
Go see if,
Lee.
go see if,
You got 50.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
go see if you can pull those.
You won't.
Ms. Lee,
You won't.
Can you,
won't 58.
can you do, can
They
you,
go 659.
Or you want that one.
when he was paying that, did he
No,
say,
you want that 657.
I can't pay this
there's
one?
a simple
All
way
right, that
to
was
do
called
this.
later.
That's
Mr.
what my
President.
clerk said, I wasn't there. I wasn't standing there.
Mr. President, Mr. President,
Hey.
there's a simple way to do this. This item here, Ms. Brooks, Ms. Lee need to pull these items here if she have them,
That's one of them.
okay?
Hold up, Lee.
It's 65,
All right.
that's 67.
That's the
know what I'm
number,
saying?
that's the
See,
13th.
and Elizabeth
You gotta hold on, Mr. We finna wrap it up here in just a second, but no. That's 58. That's 59. You need
That already-
657. Yeah.
She's gone to get those two, I think.
It is right here, it's all three of them right here.
There they are right there.
Let me see it, let me see it.
These are the three in question.
Okay. And
Now
thi-
what you got?
This form here, if
I
they
can't see it, but
generated,
let's sit down.
if they generated these three
We're
forms,
trying to,
okay?
but we've got to be right
Alright.
too. We've got to have, make sure that we're,
Yeah,
yeah,
Mr.
but
Nara.
we've got to make sure that everything is right.
That,
Right zone. Come on.
this is the transaction form right here. If they generated that for each property, then,
Can I see that?
My only concern about this right here, to
Yeah.
make that different,
All right.
okay, it was voided, I got that, and
All right,
it
we
was
finna
paid
wrap
back
this up
some
real
days
quick.
later, but
We
these
gotta get
other
out of
two
here.
don't have voided on, and
Yeah,
we got the
and-
receipts
and-
to those too.
But here's the deal, Ms. Brooks. These are the transaction,
For one payment,
right, for one payment.
Right.
That means that they should have had a similar transaction if they voided all of them. This is the time they went back
All right.
and showed it had been
Which one is
voided
that,
out,
Mr. Griffin?
okay, at 1634.
I see
Okay.
all that.
Well, which one is that, Mr. Griffin?
This is the 584-1939, 584-39.
Can I see that, Mr. Griffin? Can I see that, please?
All right, here we go. Ms. Norris. Don't do it. Let me tell you about your 584-59 in my opinion. I've got a taxpayer that's got a receipt saying it's paid. I don't care what happened after that.
Well, I don't think that one's in question, though.
I got three of them.
Yeah.
It's the other two that's in question.
Well, I got another one that has an amount on
You
it.
got two of them.
What's the amount?
Two of them.
The amount is 1339.51.
And then set 791.40.
But he has a legitimate receipt that say he paid it. I've got another one that says 791.40. That's a legitimate receipt that say he paid it.
It ain't got the word void on it.
And they don't have the word void on it. So these are good receipts to me, and I'm gonna honor that. Now, all I wanna know is where the money come from.
How do we deal with this situation?
The general fund, we're gonna have to take it from when you reimburse him. Cause if money never took place, the office over there gotta be made whole, she can balance. Once she get back, we'll figure that out. But I'm not gonna look at legitimate receipts and say they don't exist.
Mr. President, we wouldn't be talking about any money, we would talk about whether or not to void a tax sale.
All right, now you had a week, 2 weeks. Now we got
Mr.
this now. Hold on.
That is the
Pass it
procedure.
back to Pat,
You
Mr. Norris,
would be
his
talking
receipts.
about whether to void a tax sale.
Keep
So
these
do
receipts
we-
together.
So we need to
See,
make a
these-
motion to avoid a tax sale, Mr. Attorney?
That would be the motion,
He don't
the
have
20, that was a tax sale,
Here, let me see it.
an April 2024 tax sale for
Had to avoid that too.
2023 tax.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion first to avoid the tax sale on those three properties.
On those three parcels.
On those three parcels.
Ms. Norris, don't get them mixed up, please don't mix them back up.
On all
I-
three of them?
I got them. I
Yeah.
got them.
We gonna need the parcel numbers.
One of them indicated
You
he
got it
came
right
back
here.
and paid it,
That's
so
the
it's
same
clear
copy
that.
she
Well,
just
I don't
gave us.
know,
We got
just
the
in
same
case it's
copy.
already
I'm just
going to
giving
the
his
tax
copies.
sale.
Now, I don't think that one would have gone to tax sale since he paid it in January, Ms. Brooks.
All right, so nobody's mentioned a tax sale to us.
No.
But I'm just putting it on now that's just so it won't happen. Do we need to do that?
Yeah, because all these are current. They're not going to the tax. I mean, all of them are current.
I don't
You
know
know,
where
I
that's
mean,
coming from.
until February. you
So
know.
what motion need to be made so we can get this cleared up?
Thank you.
Can we wait till Ms. Lee come back in here?
Now, I mean,
We,
we-
I
we need
agree.
to
I
know whether or
think
not
we need
these
to-
properties
but
went to.
here-
I don't see how they could not have gone to a tax sale.
Because you're just now paying them. They're for this year, aren't they? They're for 24.
No, these was for,
For last year?
2023.
They
Oh,
were-
yeah, no. It
These
had to
were
go- I'm like you.
2023.
It had to go to a tax sale then.
Okay, first
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion that these properties do not go to tax sale or cancel the tax, void the tax sale. That's my motion.
I got a motion. I need a second.
In just respect, I don't have a problem. I think Ms. Lee needs to be back in here, you know, and anything she got to say, add to that. Here's what I think happened.
I still got a motion. I'm gonna let it ride. till-
Here's what I think you can get upset. I think there was some misunderstanding. I do not think they were paid, but I got to go along with Carl. I think we dropped the ball in that office. Hold on, and I just think it was hey, a tie goes to the runners. All I can say. We got. I have too many questions, and if I've got that many questions, I've got to give my
taxpayer.
benefit of a thought, of the doubt to the taxpayer. So, I do not believe. I believe somewhere it
wrong
dropped the
somewhere.
ball, but that's not your fault either. But it's just a bad situation.
Now, I got a motion. What you want to do?
I still think you need to wait till Ms. Lee gets in here and let's address this. We can move on until she gets back and then finish
Well,
it.
I recuse until she comes back.
No, you just, we'll hold
But
it.
can I just let the motion
You
sit until
rescind,
she
yeah,
comes?
rescind.
All right, let's move. Just have a seat till she gets back. And then
She going to get this.
Hey,
for you.
Ms.
we okay.
Don't
Okay.
say you good.
We're trying to get to the bottom of it for you.
Yeah, okay. Next up is Ms. Carter. And,
I mean, I add on.
Yeah, come on with your addition.
Okay, the last meeting, you asked what were the, areas that the school district needed for the, gravel that was already approved.
I thought we approved.
We did approve it. I was bringing to the attention that the work has not been done when Western Line submitted their concern, what they needed. And you asked what locations, and I said I get the locations to you. At Greenville Public Schools, it's, the bus ramp area and Mattie Aiken. And in Leland, it is the Leland, I wrote this down,
Is
Leland.
that chip and seal or just gravel?
Chip and
Just
seal.
chip and seal and gravel.
It's gravel. It's chip and seal. What we normally do, and like I said, then we'll schedule it, and during spring break, we go ahead and do it because everything is out of the way.
Okay, and at Leland School is the middle school, the Central High School, and elementary. They all in one location.
Ms. Carter, you got a document reflecting those locations? I thought we gotta do.
Yeah,
they've
that's been a
approved,
while
but
back.
the guys gotta know where to go.
Yeah.
We'll work it out. Just
Okay.
approve it.
Now, the other thing
Now, are you telling us that they wanted before then?
No, it's just that when Western Line submitted, and I know those two schools have not been taken care of. I just
Not
want to
the
make sure
spring
we have not forgot about them, because those projects just been sitting there for almost 6 months.
Yeah, we'll get them during spring break. With no
Okay,
traffic.
the other item is, I was down in Jackson last week, meeting with the chairman of corrections on the House side and the Senate side. And so I ended up meeting with the lobbyists for MAS, and we talking about, the reimbursement that we are getting from the state on state inmates. And so it was good conversation, and I reiterate to, we need to go back at it because the state did give us $1 and some change. I mean, that to me was insult. But the concern is I reached out to Ms. Carter, and I asked her, what are we spending per day on the inmates? And she sent me a text back from Mr. Barber, said that they didn't know. But the concern is we need to get a number on what we are spending per inmate so we can get our numbers together to give a real fair number on reimbursement from the state. And so I didn't want to go to another county and ask. I think our county should be able to come up on what we're spending per inmate in Washington County. So I'm just making requests. If the sheriff department can't do it, we need to identify someone who can give us a number of what we're spending per inmate, per state inmate, because that's going to be the biggest piece to show where, clearly the state is not being fair with the public prisons compared to the private prisons. They're getting paid $67 per inmate, and we just got to $30 per inmate. So the concern is we need to identify what are we paying in Washington County, because other counties are going to be getting their numbers together so we can confidently go back to, our legislators and make a request, because I explained to them that we are bleeding so bad. It's at a place where Washington County is using taxpayers' dollars to offset taking care of state inmates. And I just think that we can't be relaxed on this.
Oh, Ms. Brooks, let me ask you something, Ms. Brooks.
Hold on, I'm sorry, I stand correct. You said what's not true?
We're not using Washington County dollars for state inmates.
All right.
Okay,
Let me
so
ask you a
what I'm
question.
saying to you, we're in the red. So I understand we getting the $30, but you're saying $30 is enough to take care of the inmates, sir, Mr. Barber?
Now,
It's $31 and some cents.
and
Okay.
change.
Okay,
But
so
let me do
my-
this for both of y'all.
can I get finished? So
No,
you
no.
so
Y'all need to get together.
$31.
If you can discuss the Washington County and Jackson, I know you can talk with the sheriff
I
department
know
and
I
the chief.
can't. I called.
And work with
I've
them.
talked to the sheriff before, but if he's gonna say $31 is enough
Y'all
per
can have that
inmate,
conversation outside
ain't no
the
sense me trying to get no money from the state, even though we're bleeding from your department right at $3 million.
I think it is $31.20. It's some change.
But is
67
that enough?
cents.
Is that
No, it's not enough. That's
Well,
why you have them lobbying all the time.
That's what he just said. That was enough.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please. Please.
First of all.
She done called you out there. Go ahead.
Good morning. I don't like the
Good
way
morning.
that this is going, this is heading, that I said and all of this. If somebody wanna know what I need to say, call me. Call me and ask me.
What-
Now, second of all, I think the sheriff is the one who needs to be contacted and talked to about
whether or not it's enough money for
Washington County.
Washington County or not, because he is the sheriff. Second thing is that any amount that the state gives, I think this board has the opportunity to say that's enough, or that's an adequate amount, or we'll take it. But I have been in meetings where not just this sheriff, but all the sheriffs across Washington County have
State.
met, all across the state of Mississippi have met with the commissioner, have met with the legislatures, and all of these people. So, just recently, last year, they had 3 meetings. They also had meetings down at the Sheriff's Association because of the regional facility housing these people. So, if they're gonna get together and raise it, we certainly are not gonna say it's enough, okay?
Yes, sir.
So if they say that they're gonna get it done, then we'll accept it.
What-
But certainly,
Mhm.
I wouldn't say that $31 is enough.
I'm
But-
glad to hear you say
But
that.
that is what the state is allowing.
Right.
So that because this is what they're allowing, then that's what we go with.
Well, sir, that's not my concern, what you're
Well,
saying.
And it's not my concern that, if you wanna go lobby, that's good. Thank you, we appreciate it.
And I do this.
thank you.
So the reason why I did this, sir, because I saw our budget, and the bulk of our budget is bleeding off of those state inmates. And for us to sit there and be complacent, that's why I took a real stand last year with MAS. It was not even a legislative issue. And I got up and I spoke, and it was other counties who agreed with me, and they lobbied. They gave us $1 more. It's nothing to be proud of, because it didn't make a big impact. And so all the counties, because it's 15 counties, they have regional jails. And so we just can't sit here and just continue to take care of state inmates when the private prisons get $67 per inmate and we only get $31. That's a slap in our face. Clearly, if they come here and it takes $55 to take care of an inmate, we don't have a number yet, that dollar is coming back out of taxpayers who's doing it. So that's why I'm taking a stand, because that $3 million that we're using to take care of state inmates can go on our roads. And there's other counties that agree with me. So that's why I called. It was so much I did not want to talk to you. I called the county administrator because I was at the state capitol, and I would assume she would have that number. But I found out you said y'all don't have the number. So,
You didn't hear me say that.
what, Miss Carter, what text did you send me, Miss Carter?
You didn't hear me say that.
I spoke with Chief Barber, and he stated there was no way to find out or to show how much it costs to support one inmate. And say he didn't know.
Well, he said there's no way.
You didn't hear me say that.
I got that from the
All right,
county
let me-
administrator.
Let me do this,
I heard
Chief.
the county administrator.
Ms. Brooke, let me do
But
this.
she answered it. So
All right.
anyway,
All right.
the biggest concern I'm having, Mr. President,
Please, let me say something.
I'm gonna let you speak, but my concern is if we have a sheriff department that cannot find out a way to come up with this number, we
Okay.
do need to get a number so we can work with the other counties, so we can come up with a fair number, not only for Washington County, but all 15 regional jails, where we can get fair pay from the state of Mississippi.
All right, every few meetings now, you talk about the feed or completely housing. That means water, divide that up, electrical, divide that up, complete everything. Food and everything.
The only thing they
Now,
did,
let me-
they reiterated that, and you can answer that question for me, Mr. Barber. With the state inmates, do we take care of their medical bills? Because Senator Juan Burnett reiterated that the state takes care of the medical bills, and if that's not accurate, we need to be clear about that.
Okay. Now, if anyone around this table decides you would like to go outside of the county and have dialogue about Washington County, at least take the time to have the supporting data. If it requires us generating a number on a per inmate basis, yeah, it can be done. We can make that happen.
Thank you.
It's not a big deal, but you just have to say, but it's gonna take communicating and working together.
Thank you so much.
All right, Ms. Carter, we'll talk, and Chief will pull some numbers together, and it's nothing to do.
No, it's not.
All right. All right, we got
Ms. Lee back.
Ms. Lee's back here.
Ms. Lee back.
Yeah.
Ms. Lee? Lee, you had a question for Ms. Lee? You was concerned?
Oh, no, Ms. Lee, we just wanted to give you the, I guess the, word I'm looking for,
We actually have a consensus, and Lee had a question for you. You have a motion on the table to actually, number one, to rescind the tax sale that his property was in this past.
well, I guess what we're getting to, we can't get to the bottom of it completely, and we're giving the tie to the taxpayer, which I think he's got a receipt, and we just don't know where to go from here because he does have a receipt. We really can't get to the bottom of it. We really can't get any information. So I think we just come to the conclusion the right thing to do is just honor the receipt and.
And how you gonna honor the receipt?
Well, that's, we just,
Have to
that's
come
all
out
we know.
general.
We can't get to the bottom of
This
it.
is the report that I just pulled from that day from that clerk.
Yeah.
And it shows that his receipts was not collected for.
Yeah,
It also, you asked me to go down here and get these receipts that shows the time frame that it was taken out, the time that he came in,
Okay.
when it was removed, and the reason. So I did that.
All right.
I guess, well, I
Whatever
guess
y'all
on the other thing though would be is we kind of acknowledged we did give it, we shouldn't have given him a receipt and we did give him a receipt.
Right.
So that's where we kind of, and when I say we
Right.
as a county, so I think that's the only
That's the
thing we can do at this point is just kind of honor those receipts. But we wanted to make sure you was back in the room before we just done it for you guys.
All right, so now his property did go through a tax sale, right?
Yeah.
All right, so now we got a motion on the floor to avoid the tax sale. I need a second on that motion.
Second.
The motion still stands, right, Ms. Brooks? Huh? I got, let me give you the three. Here's the three parts.
This one's paid, but that one's,
Did it go through tax sale?
No, he
no,
paid.
this,
He came
it's just
back in
two of them,
January and
just
paid.
talking about those two. The second two pages.
May I have my
Yes.
receipts I gave y'all this morning?
Yeah.
Just
Is
have
that
y'all-
it?
It's that right there.
Where's
The
it
one
at?
with the paper clips on it.
At
Right.
the bottom there, yeah. Yeah. Those,
Yeah, those.
Gotcha.
all those,
I want those back, both of them, both stacks.
all those.
Thank you.
You are.
All right,
Working for Nookie.
two.
The one that's got void on it, that's not part of it, just the second,
It's not.
No, because he's paid those.
Paid.
He come back and paid that. That's right. And 1,700 and
We
something behind.
talking parcel numbers now, because we just voiding the tax sale. All right, we're gonna get to the amounts, because we gotta figure out where that money gonna come from.
Pin number 14122 and pin number 16584,
Okay,
Yep, that should be right, yeah.
okay.
and the amount for 16584 is 1339.51.
Okay.
And pin number 14122, the amount is 791.40.
Okay. That's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Mr. President, when you void the tax sale, all right, there would be no money that would change hands unless it was sold to a private
And it was.
person. It was? Okay. So then you have to, that money will come from your general fund,
I
sir.
know.
Okay? All right?
Okay.
Yes.
So where would the money come from for paying the taxes?
General fund.
You gonna pay all of it?
We have to.
We got to. And I'm sure you probably spoke to
Uh,
your,
Well, all
He's
you
not
doing,
there
all you
for
doing, Ms. Lee, is giving them credit for that year, unfortunately, if this board votes to void those tax sales on the basis he paid. The board gonna have to find in his minutes that he actually paid these taxes,
That's fine.
okay? All right? That has to be, that's what that order gotta read,
Yeah.
that he in fact paid the tax for those 2 years. If that happens, you gotta give him credit.
to the best of
Okay.
our
She know
ability,
that.
Yeah.
that we just do
Yeah,
this
she
the best of
knows
our
that.
ability.
She just wanna know, make sure we understand that this gotta come out of general fund.
Yes, sir.
All right, got a motion and a second on the floor. Any other questions? That's just to avoid the tax sale on the two parcels. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And to give him credit.
Motion carries. Now, we gotta worry about where's the money coming from, like Ms. C.
Well, like I said, that's got to come from the general fund.
Yeah, I just said.
Yeah.
All right, do we have to make that part of a motion?
To refund that money to those persons who
purchased the
purchased the
sale.
tax sale.
I got a
Yes.
motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Norris.
Now, Mr. Norris, you understand this year, you still gotta pay this year by
February 1st.
February 1st.
You can't come pay that yet, cause you gotta correct it in
I
the
like to
system.
go pay it now.
See you, Ms. Norris.
Not today.
Why not?
Because you all just boarded the sale. We have to go, there's a process we have to take. We
All
can't
right,
just go
when
and
can
do
he
that
pay it?
today. Probably tomorrow.
All right, outstanding. You good with that, Ms. Norris?
No, cause I supposed to be leaving tomorrow.
Well, you can pay them all except those two. You can pay all your taxes except those
I
two.
done paid them all.
You can pay them all but
He
these
pay
two.
those two.
You've paid all of them for this year?
Mr.
Other than
Norris,
those two?
you wanna get a certified check and then
There you
just
go.
email
Okay, yeah, well, would you ever to give me a total amount?
Well, you got the total now, we got it.
Okay, this right here, add it up.
I don't know, you better find out from them, I don't working it
I
out.
don't think she wanna have too much conversation.
She'll give you a
Ms.
total
Norris.
amount, but I'd rather do it with check.
Can I get a certified check?
Ms. Norris, we'll give you a call and get it worked out. I'll call you. All right.
All right. Now, Mr. Norris, where you live at?
My dear.
Oh, you reside in Greenville, but you getting that go out of town.
Yeah, well,
Ms.
You move around.
Hey, man, we're going all over the internet. Don't let everybody know you're out of town.
Okay. You moving around.
Wow.
Where you gotta go? You gotta go.
All right, we got one more here, y'all.
Oh, okay. You go to the house.
What did we come up with on number 9? Consider proposed purchase of bridge property next to Glen Island.
Yes, I talked to Ms. Bridges' son, and on that, what we're gonna have to do is, because of the amount, we're gonna have we're gonna have to have an appraisal done, to determine what the value is. We don't have to advertise.
Y'all
it.
remember that was we own the lot.
Right.
We own the lake
Yes.
ramp, and this is a small piece of property that adjoins our property that they're selling. So,
We need to
that
get-
way we
Now-
can enhance that for the lake, you know.
I was gonna talk about the need for getting an option from the Bridges until we get that appraisal done, all right?
Yeah, I figured
Yeah.
we'd have to have an appraisal on it.
Yes.
But
So
why would you need an option? How long you intend to
the
take?
option, you gotta get somebody to appraise it, and you can't tell, how long that's gonna take. 30, 90 days, or whatever. But
You couldn't get the tax assessors off to do the praise?
No.
no,
You gotta get an independent.
You gotta.
yes.
Yeah. Now,
I'm
Chris,
sure that'd be fine.
Anything under $5,000, you can get it from the tax collector's office, but once it exceeds $5,000, you need
All right.
an appraiser. And let me say this, even though it may be appraised for a lower value, they insist on 35,000. The law says that if the board find a need for it, and you can pay more than it's actually appraised for.
Gotcha.
Okay? But
So
you
right
just
now,
have to make a
you
fine.
need so we need to make a motion for an appraisal?
Yes,
Make a motion that we get this property appraised.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any
But we
opposed?
don't,
Motion carries. Now,
wha-
we're gonna contact the appraiser.
I'll locate an
Would you call
appraiser
and
and
let
get,
us know when you make contact?
yes,
So we can have a report at the next board meeting.
Okay.
With a timeline.
all right.
All right, that's the boat ramp. Ms. Carter, you ready to go? Ms. Carter, you ready to go? This has been some kind of day.
We have expended 27.7% of our budget through January 21 compared to 33.33%. Total receipts deposited January 6th through the 16th total $375,410.53. And requesting board approval of our claims docket totaling $171,521.08.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Requesting payment in the amount of $21,755 to Elks Lodge 567 for reimbursement for services done for the repairs and renovations to use the ARPA funds.
Uh-oh. I got a motion. And I got a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
That's out of the ARPA funds, that's legitimate expenditure, right, Ms. Carter?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Requesting payment in the amount of $21,050 to Upsilon 567 for reimbursement for services done for the repairs and renovations used with ARPA funds.
So moved.
Got a motion? Got a, give Jerry? Got a second from Jerry? Any questions? All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries.
The Greater Greenville Habitat for Humanity is requesting the board to waive the rental fees for the Washington County Convention Center on February 6, 2025 for the annual fundraising event, Laser Blast to Habitat. Their goal is to create more opportunities for citizens to become homeowners in the community.
So moved.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The City of Greenville is requesting assistance to reclaim, rehabilitate, and maintain Watson Street and Cherry Street that are in dire need of repair.
Okay. That's a request from the city of Greenville. They just want to use the reclaimer. Theirs is down.
Oh, tear it up.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all. They
But
wanna
we're gonna operate it though, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, theirs is broke.
Yeah. So moved.
I got a motion, I got a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Requesting that county offices are closed on February 17, 2025 in the observance of the President's Day holiday. President's Day.
So moved.
I got a motion. I need a second. I need a second, Jerry. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Only thing, just for 1 second, when you get back with the city, I just warn them, you know, when them roads are tore up, they're dusty, unless they're ready to go back with them.
They say they're ready.
Okay.
Well, now, I'm gonna be honest with you, APAC not even running asphalt right now.
Because you know, I know y'all get calls just like I do when we
Yeah.
tear them up, and so just
They,
Where's Cherry Street? Where is that?
right there behind the E-Bass in that area.
yeah, real short street over there.
Yeah.
If you come around the curve at 82, it's one, if you look, before you hit that curve, look right over that way, that's it.
Now, all of this is what came out
Look to your
after my report. Requesting final payment in the amount of $4,112.50 to Southwest Planning for the admin fees for the CDPG Greenville Sewer Improvement Project.
Wait a minute, say that
That
one more
was-
time.
That was the
That's the
city
last
thing,
payment,
right?
yes.
Yeah, that kind of just went through us.
That is done.
So moved.
Sent to close our document.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. So all the audits and all that stuff been done, everything's straight. So we close out document, thank God. All right, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Requesting travel for county officials to attend the MASMC conference. Do you have the date and the location?
February?
What's the date before the MAS or something? They sent me
February,
a-
probably February.
They sent me
February 4th and 3rd and 4th, I think it's 3rd and 4th.
so moved.
Whatever it is, yeah.
The estimated cost of $800.
A piece, or how many people?
Y'all already be there. Is it in the same location? See, I don't.
No, it's in different location. This one here is on County Line Road, the other one's out at, boom, boom, boom,
Other than Rankin
Refuge,
County.
Refuge. Refuge. So this is like a day or two early. I could look on my phone if you want me to. I'll send it to you. Not that I don't, and I'll let you know if I'm going.
Well, I'm going.
All right, would you, motion, all in favor?
You
Show by
arrested
sign
me
of
for
aye.
the conference?
Any opposed? Motion carries. So Supervisor Gordon away from his seat.
Hmm?
What was that, Griff?
No, did you register me for the conference?
No,
Yeah, this one is in Jackson.
MAS conference?
that what you went talking about, man.
This MASMC.
Okay, it's Tuesday, February the fourth.
The 4th and 5th?
Mm.
Yeah.
What time does it start?
9 a.m.
But isn't the conference the next day after that?
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yes.
talking
Start
about.
at 9 a.m.
Ms. Carter, you registered me for the MAS conference?
I did not.
She don't have approval to register you.
Would you register me, please? For the lawyer session? Thank.
Let me ask
Late
you,
for registration, but yeah, you can.
Why you don't register me?
all right, let me ask a question. I need input from the board. If you attend these conferences
Mm.
and they provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner, should you be receiving a, what do you call it, Ms. Carter? When you receive money for going out of town?
The per diem.
The per diem. Your meal's already there.
Well, what depends on if you wanna eat what they got. Some of the stuff, I don't be eating that stuff. It's all about what you wanna eat. And some days I do on my plate, I'll be on my fruit thing.
Well,
Sometimes I'm fruiting all day, and
Uh,
sometimes I don't want no pork.
But I just want the board to think about that. Whenever you go to these conferences, they already provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but you still,
there may be an opinion on that, Mr. President.
Okay.
If so, I'll pull the opinion.
We'll find the
but that
opinion,
may-
but I want everybody to understand the question that I'm asking. Should you be compensated? Should you
If so,
receive the per diem?
if there's an opinion, I just circulate it.
That's fine.
Y'all check your email. Some of y'all claim you don't get nothing in the email.
Ms. Griffin?
I get some, I get when they send it.
All right, Ms. Carter, please.
Last thing I have was,
You don't send it on me.
requesting travel
talking about
for
groups.
Clay Norris to attend Thompson Machinery's Motor Grader Factory, training on January 29th through the 30th in Little Rock.
Okay.
And it is at no cost
I
to the
think we
county.
need to send more than one person. I know he's the, but
They asked for what now?
They only asked for one.
is he a motivated driver?
Yeah. He's the most knowledgeable person we got on board.
But don't you think we need to send two people?
We can only send what they allow. We can't just bum rush the people. I need a motion. Need a motion and a second.
Second.
All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The supervisor? Yeah. You sure? No. Hey.
One of the things we need to put on the agenda is talk about the interviews of the people that's running for, applying for the job road department.
All right.
We need to get a date for that, cause ain't no sense of just.
All right, has it-
we got all the-
And I would suggest it not on our regular board meeting,
Right.
that way we can have a little time.
Okay.
Uh,
Is everybody ready?
I am, yeah, I'd like to hear from them.
But the
and
first process we need to do is eliminating, do y'all want to take all the people, or do you need to get down to 3?
Well, No. So how many was it total?
I'd
You-
say- Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, I've gotten down to my top 3.
Well, it's some people, I don't even know anything about them. and
but-
they had good resumes, and it's only fair if we hear from them. Cause what's the purpose of doing it and we don't?
You can't do that.
Well, I gotta halfway agree with that. I hate to ask somebody for that and not at least hear them out. I know it's a lot, but I wanna make sure we get the right person. I don't have no problem with that. I'd rather not, but I think it's the only right thing
So
to
you
do.
all telling me that you cannot go through these resumes and do a process of elimination and select the top candidate?
I would like to hear from them.
Are you serious?
Well, I think, Carl, I know what you're saying, and but I'm just saying, we asked for this. I think it's only right to hear from these people that apply to the job. If you gotta do it in 2 days, I just think it's only right that you hear from them. It may take 5 minutes on each, one. I mean, it's not that long. I mean, 5 minutes is a long time talking.
All right, let me
So
do that.
you sit and say, hey, we're gonna take it, 5 or 10 minutes, and then we go, and.
If you're gonna do it, make sure if you're gonna ask 5 or 10 questions, ask the same 10 questions of
Right.
each.
We've done that
candidate.
before. Yeah, we've done that
All right,
before. Yeah.
so it's not a 15-minute process.
Right.
No, I mean, you can even set the clock on it, say, hey, we got 5 minutes per one, but I think it's only, it's only fair if they applied. I mean, I hate to spend a half a day, but I don't think you
I'll tell you
will.
what we might need
And
to
you
do.
won't have everybody even show up,
I agree, I think
you know?
everybody's not gonna.
So, but I think we need to set a time, just on, whenever that time is, but I think it needs to be, fairly quick.
What about sometime next week?
No, you're gone next week. Well, no, you're going in 2 weeks, right? In 2 weeks.
Now
What's
what?
today's date?
The conference,
21st.
gonna be the conference is the first week of February. Why not sometime next week?
It's up to y'all.
27th through I mean, I would like to go ahead and just start looking, I would like for us to go move forward.
How many resumes did you end up with? Do you have?
It's like 15.
How many you end up with? 15? I didn't have.
Well, I mean, I didn't just go and select 3. I mean, I just, again, I thought that the right thing to do would just be to interview everybody.
Yeah.
And again, we've always interviewed, but we had our 3 selected that we thought were, you know, at that point, you know, the ones that we really wanted to look at. But like I said, we asked for resumes. I think, you know, a lot of these people that you give them the opportunity, I mean, they may, somebody may surprise you. You never know. So, let's, I think we need to.
Whatever you do, you make sure that you put a job description out there.
But the job description already out.
Right, but you gotta make sure those people comply or meet those minimums.
All right, so that's the next week. What about Monday or Tuesday next week?
What date was that, Clay, that was he going to, of
That's-
what?
We got
Of
this
this,
month?
of this month? So you're talking about doing it first part of February?
We'll be out. I'm talking about next week, the 27th or 28th.
He gone.
Monday, Tuesday next week.
Monday would probably be better.
What about Monday for you, Mr. Redmond?
Monday at 9 o'clock?
Yeah, Monday.
Would that be good with you, Carl?
Let's see what happens. If y'all gonna do, we'll work it out. Let's have a
Yeah.
conversation. I can't
Okay.
guarantee it. But that's just a little bit much for me,
Yeah.
but okay.
We'll be in and out. It won't take that long.
Man.
Yeah.
Period. Nuh-uh.
A road manager. A
Yeah.
road manager gonna be able to delegate the employees,
Have
make
knowledge
sure
and
what-
all that,
Yeah.
you know?
All right, everybody get familiar with the job description, please.
That's right, yeah.
And develop your questions, and everybody don't need to ask the same questions, but everybody should have at least, 3 to 5 questions? How many questions each? What y'all wanna do? What's the
Well,
process?
I think if we got that many people, you just, whatever the time may be, say, hey, just like anything else, we got 5 or 10 minutes, whatever that time being, or 7 minutes or whatever. Again, 5 minutes of speaking is a long
that
time.
is a long time.
So you do that, say we got 5 minutes, you know, anything you wanna,
Not gonna go so fast, that's not fair.
huh?
That's not fair.
What?
Because, you know, I might go in and be very brief and to the point. Your style of interview may be a little longer. You want to
Will
elaborate
you tell
on
me how
everything.
long? Will you tell me? What do you think's fair?
I don't put a limit on the individual, but you can just, if you're gonna count, you're gonna do 5 people today, 5 tomorrow, give each one of them 15 to 30 minutes each.
You'll
But
never have anybody
somebody
in
gonna
30
run over and
minutes.
somebody gonna come up short.
Okay. Well, then don't put a time limit on it. Just
No.
say, hey, get them in here individually, get them
No,
here.
yeah, I do that.
Okay, let's go.
But when
Monday.
you schedule them, you stagger it based on what you think it might be.
I would say every
optimal.
15 minutes. I think
right.
that's a bit
That's-
much,
that's
but if
fair.
you know, if that's the way you want to do it,
Somebody gonna come early though.
okay.
So we looking at
Miss
the 27th.
Miss Carter, can you have notify them, tell them start by 9 o'clock Monday morning, start coming in? Every 15 minutes.
Dang.
We need to get this behind us.
Yeah, get it going, because we got
Yeah.
to deal with it. Y'all might
Yeah.
be, people not saying nothing to y'all
Yeah.
about the position.
Yeah.
Baby, I'm moving around Washington County too, because I get many people asking out, well, y'all look at my application. I can't say if the other board members say it.
Yeah, I've looked at them, and I'm down to 3, but okay. All right, Ms. Carter, you good, right? Ms. Bernadine, you got something for us? Come on.
Jamelda Fay Fulton, school board member, Western Line.
So moved.
Do we need to vote on minutes?
Gregory
Yep.
R.
You can vote them all over one time.
School
Just
board,
received it.
Western Line. Daphne Gallion, Washington County. Controller, Washington County Regional Correctional Facility. Demir Deshae Fortune, Deputy Tax Collector.
You need one motion.
Sylvia
Just
Flake,
one motion, all of them.
Deputy Tax Collector. Patricia Hayes, Deputy Tax Collector. Katrina Voss, Deputy Tax Collector. Cordelia Franklin, I might have mispronounced her name, Deputy Tax Collector.
All right, that's all of them?
That's the line.
Need a motion?
So moved.
And a second. And a second.
Okay, I also
And a
have-
second. And a
Second.
second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, that's unanimous.
I need board approval to authorize payment of certain fees and expenses for 2025 of the Chancery Clerk, Marilyn Hansel, and her Chancery Clerk's office.
Need a
That's
motion?
the annual letter.
So moved.
Motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And I still have the, grand jury report for October 2024, the copy document into the record.
So moved.
Got a motion? And a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Did everybody get a copy of the grand jury report?
I'll make sure they do, right?
Please.
I have a copy here of a lease agreement with, Frederick Formigani that needs to go into the land records. We received the check Friday and it was turned over to administration, but this lease needs to go into the land records as well as the board minutes.
Everybody understand?
Yep.
Any comments, Griff?
It's farm property. No.
So moved.
I got a motion?
Second.
And a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion
And
carries.
I have a thank you note from East Park Community Outreach. I'd like to read, thanks for all you do. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you, Yolanda Winters, Geraldine McIntosh. To the Washington County Board of Supervisors from East Park Community Outreach Pantry, 2500 East Alexander, Greenville, Mississippi.
All right, the board sometime back evidently awarded some funding to them for their food pantry. And that's the, that's up on East Alexander at the, Victory, at the House of Prayer Church. And they just wanted to send a thank you note.
One more thing.
Come on with it.
I need permission to copy into the minutes the attorney's letter that was sent to IMS dated September 20th, 2024.
So moved.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. That was it? All right, we good. We got come on, Chief. We got an executive session?
Yes,
Just
sir.
Attorney report.
No, we got an executive session to discuss, a proposed contract with Allegiance as well as with,
Okay.
to discuss how you wanna proceed on MEC. Yes.
All right, Chief.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sheriff is requesting to send 2 dispatchers to the train at Greenwood Police Department. That's February the 10th through the 14th for a 40-hour basic training, $100 per student. They would be
How many students?
2 students. They would be coming
Give
back
you time
every
to
day.
read.
I mean, two dispatchers, I mean, I'm students. So moved.
I got a motion.
They are students. I mean, it's a training.
They not already dispatched?
Motion Supervisor Brooks, second Supervisor Gordon. No other questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
That was it?
That's it.
All right. Lee, you good?
I'm good.
Ms. Brooks?
Yes, first I want to talk about yesterday. I was so excited when I saw Mississippi Valley State performing for President Trump. And they did a wonderful job. I mean, they really represented the Delta Valley State, but also it was a young man from Leland, Mr. Ford. And there's quite a few young people from Washington County that performed yesterday for the rally / parade inauguration for the President Trump. And I just want to commend Valley State for taking their students there. I know there was a wonderful experience for those kids. You know, I'm sure some of those kids' first time ever going to D.C., but to be able to perform for a president, no matter what your political preference is, I just thought that was a wonderful opportunity for those young people. And, you know, just watching on television, looked like the president and their family, they really enjoyed. And actually, there was a young man, he was there, but he had a drone, and I went on his page. You could just hear the people just cheering for the students at Mississippi Valley State University. I mean, nobody knew about Valley State, they know about Mississippi Valley State. So I just want to commend that band director and the president for allowing those students to participate, because it did get kind of heated. I saw some stories where, you know, people didn't want them to attend, but I was so happy that they went, because that was life-changing for those young people.
And the other thing I like to talk about is the month of January. January is also National Slavery and Human Trafficking Prevention. And believe it or not, we don't think about human trafficking, but it's taking place around our region as well. Now we're hearing more about so many kids are coming up missing, and we don't know what's going on. And some years ago, I was in a meeting with some federal law enforcement, and they brought to my attention, this when I was on the board of Alderman for Leland, that a lot of human trafficking is taking place, and they're getting these young people, and they take them down to the coast, and they put them at the bottom of ships. So to parents, you got to keep up with your children, be able to communicate. Everybody got cell phones this day and time, but we got to constantly communicate with our children, because if you go on Facebook, you see more and more young people are children that are coming up missing. So, this month awareness is very important. Also, January is also Poverty in America Awareness. And believe it or not, I think the poverty is even worse compared to my childhood. I think about, how people's homes were during my childhood, but now it's even worse. You got people that can't feed themselves. Some of them being concerned about, welfare being cut, food stamps being cut. And then on top of that, we got situations where elderly who need assistance from the federal government to get food stamps, but they may get $10 a month, and they just eating off of what they can. So these programs where we have food, you see the lines in Washington County when they giving out food, the lines out there because people are really in need of food just to survive. So poverty is really big, and not even talk about housing. I would just say housing at one time. I just see houses when I was a kid. I still see these houses like this in 2025, and that is mind-boggling to me. So those are the two items that I'd like to bring to our attention for the month of January.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks. Jerry, you good? All righty, we got an executive session coming up. And just to share with the board, we've got some extremely cold temperatures coming. We are pretty much ready to go. David Burford and our team started meeting last week when we had the event, so everybody's still ready to roll. But if you happen to know of a situation where citizens may be in some distress, don't hesitate to pick up the phone and make a phone call. Just reach out.
When you say distress, what do you mean?
Say the
Distress
water.
for what?
Remember the time we had this kind of temperature before all the water froze?
Oh, yeah, okay.
And that hopefully none of that happen, but we're prepared for it.
I got a question. So I guess the thing is, what is it that citizens can do to, I know the traditional things, but what additional things can they do to help eradicate their water freeze? And I know, leaving the water on and then open the cabinets up under your sink. Is there anything else that citizens need? Because the people do listen to us very much. Is there anything else that people can do to help not eradicate the opportunity of water not freezing, besides, letting the water drip and open up the cabinets up under your, where your sink is?
Yeah, those are basic things that make sure your pipes are wrapped. And of course, if you have plumbing in your house, you do open the doors and allow water in, but they say let your tap drip, not run. Drip, not run.
You heard the president.
Cause
Drip,
a
drip,
situation.
drip, not run.
If you listen to the daily news report, they talk about it every day. If you need further details, and like if you want somebody to come to your church and meet with a group or something like that, that's what emergency management is for. But it's just doing the basic things. They've gotten to the point now where they ask you to put a winter kit in your vehicle. And there are certain things that go into the kit, like water, food, gloves, cell phone, extra batteries, just in case something were to happen. You can go online and find out what it is. What am I missing, Chief? Blankets. It's just a preparedness kit that you keep with you, especially if you're going out traveling. And listen to the weather forecast. When the advisory says stay at home if possible, please do so. Please do so. But can't hear you.
They said that today.
Yeah.
Well, too, you want to add what not to do too, not to, generators inside,
All that.
a lot of people want to use, you know, the stoves to heat. And you said it earlier, you still see some of the houses that look like they did, you know, 40 years ago. Well, some of those still have space heaters too. And my years on the fire department, I can't tell you how many fires went to, and some of them just tragic. Somebody back up to one of them with a gown on or something, and you know, trying to stay warm, and so you got to be really careful with that kind of stuff. So it's what to do and what not to do. Yeah, if you run an electric here, definitely don't run it on the extension cord. I don't like them anyway, but not on the extension cord or a surge protector.
Yep. So. Yeah, but contact your local emergency management if it's your police department, sheriff department, or fire department. You have resources out there that are available to you. Just simply pick up the phone, make a phone call. If you don't have smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, they'll resolve that issue as well. So if you got any questions, Washington County Sheriff Department is always available to assist. All right.
I got a question. If we get sand, I mean, we put out sand if we get ice, do we do that, the county? Okay.
We've got sand now at the convention center, and but the smaller municipalities, if you have issues, you know, and can't get sand, give us a shout. We'll drop some off for you. But we're not bagging sandbags, but we do have sand to put over bridges. Yeah. But if the sheriff department's out at night, they see a icy situation, they always make the phone call to the road department and they address it right away. Hopefully, we, you know, keep people in your prayers that are south of here, south of Jackson. I'm gonna probably leave going to Jackson this evening, because I'm thinking all the weather's gonna be south of that.
Yeah.
But, you know, be careful if you're traveling after hours. And that's pretty much it. There was something else I wanted to add, but we'll get it. Okay, now we got an executive session, Mr. Attorney,
Yes, sir.
and it's, hey. What you got? Oh, okay. I need a motion, to go into executive session.
No, you need a motion, to determine the need for an executive session.
Motion to go into closed session, so we can determine the need for executive session.
Second.
I got a motion, a second, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
All right, we're in closed session now. We're going to executive session, the contract negotiations, is that correct?
Yeah, contract negotiations with, we need to cut these off.
We're not in the executive session yet. Contract negotiations and what?
Contract negotiations with Allegiance and NBC.
It's contract negotiations?
Yes.
Okay.
But you got it.
All right. All in favor, show a sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, recorders off, that kind of.